Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. What's going on? What's going on, Doug? Look at that. Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Doug, let me know if you can hear me. Let's see. Let me make sure. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Let's give it a couple minutes. Damn it, man. I know we're competing against the big dogs out there right now. Thank you very much, Doug. I appreciate you. Thank you. We're competing against everybody out there now. That's all right. We all got to pay our dues. AJ, good afternoon, DD in chat. Welcome in, AJ. Welcome in. Slowly but surely. I rewatched this morning. Sorry I missed it, but I had some thoughts. Maybe you're more than welcome. This is going to be. We're going to cover a little bit about what we're going to cover Nancy Guthrie, what's going on in that 175 days or so. We're also going to cover the Sider family, and then we're going basically to an open chat after that. So if you want to bring up anything, you're more than welcome to. And if you want to come up here, just let me know when you want to come up here, and I'll bring you up here. Hey, dog, what's going on, Barney? Good to have you. AJ, I have to go and get my cap from the dealership. I thought you said your cat. I'm like, what the hell's your cat doing at the dealership? Your car. Okay, we'll see you when you get here. How's everybody's day going? Good? Dog, is that white chocolate in your mouth? I'm still finishing up this Pop-Tart that I started earlier today. I forgot I didn't even finish it, so I was finishing that Pop-Tart. Love that strawberry Pop-Tart and that cinnamon Pop-Tart. Or not so much cinnamon, but the brown sugar Pop-Tart. Man, we are definitely going against a lot of people online right now, without a doubt. But that's okay. That's okay. Perfect. Perfect, says Doug. I was hoping for white chocolate. I haven't had white chocolate in a while, to be honest, Barney. I think the last time I had something like a cookies and cream, Hershey's, was a while ago. I'm not a really big fan on white chocolate. Not really a big fan on chocolate, to be honest. I'll eat it, but I'm not a really big fan of it. Not like my wife. She's chocolate. She loves chocolate too. But I'm not a big fan. I mean, I'll eat it, like I said, but I'm not going to say no. Oh, Lord have mercy. But you know what? First chance I get, I'll buy some. Maybe we'll come up for Devil Dog's white chocolate bars. Oh, Lord. All right, guys. We're just gonna have to go and wait to see who else comes in. What's that commercial say? Must be a traffic jam. Must be a traffic jam. Oh, Barty says, oh, yes. Oh, Lord. I get it. We got to pay our dues. So what I want to talk about today is not only Nancy, like 175 days, where we at, what do we know? Well, we know pretty much everything we're going to know, I think. what's the new information that's coming out, if any, other than the notes. And the other thing too is, we really never talked about Cameron. And I've always kept Cameron off limits only because of his military background. I always felt like, that had to count for something. So I never really wanted to ask the question, what about Cameron? Where does he fit in the puzzle? No, he's the oldest sibling. He's like 61, I think, 64, 61, I think. He is 61. So I, I never wanted to go there, but it would be wrong if we didn't go over everybody, to be honest. So my thing is with him is the fact that, he was the first one. Remember when Savannah had called and she got the call from Annie? No offense, dog, but military people aren't all angels. I agree. No offense taken. I know what you're saying, Barney. I just wasn't going to go there because, not because of anything other than, there's some things you learn in the military that I think something like this would be taboo to bring up. But in the other token, I get it. But you're right. You're right. They're not all angels. I totally agree with that. 100%. April 857 is headed to an unaliving of a 65-year-old woman near Tucson. All right. Well, hopefully we'll figure out what's going on there. Keep us posted if you got a double screen going on. So with Cameron, he was the first one when Savannah called him after Annie had called her, and she told Cameron about the situation. And she said, do you think it's my fault? Do you think it's because of me? And, I'm not holding it against Cameron, but he said, yes, sis, I think it is. That's like, oh my gosh, like, talk about like getting hit over the head with a frying pan, right? I mean, here's Savannah reaching out to her brother and asking, do you think it's because of me? Do you think this is my fault? And he says, yes, sis, I think it is. Savannah called MK before Cameron. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You're right. But I'm talking about when she called Cameron, because this is about Cameron. But I understand. You're right. She called Mark Kelly. But when she called Cameron, it was to tell him what was going on, right? And the idea that my point I'm getting across is, or trying to get across, is that he was so quick to tell her, yes, sis, I think it is. Like, yeah, sis, I think it's your fault. I mean, I just found that shocking because I cannot even imagine a sibling saying that to another sibling, especially when you're the oldest and you're there to basically, you're the only son. So you're there to supposed to be there to kind of comfort them, right? And instead, she says, do you think it's because of me? Do you think it's my fault? He says, yeah, sis, I think it is. That was like, damn. He said it's a ransom and it's your fault. Yes. Yes, I was going to get to that. And then the idea that he started to say that this was a kidnapping. He said this is a kidnap for ransom, is what he said. This is a kidnapping for ransom. Now, there's been a lot of talk about that, okay? Hey, 2C, good to have you. Welcome in. So there's been a lot of talk about, like, how did he know? And, at the beginning, I always felt like, well, because he was in the military and because he was in, like, I think he also did some, not only was he a pilot, but he did some intelligence. I kind of figured, well, maybe, that's the first thing that came into his mind. But a lot of people, even, people in law enforcement and Bracado, on the interview room. I mean, many people have questioned why he would have said that. Why would he have said, yes, sis, I think so? Basically telling Savannah it's her fault. And then saying, I think this was a kidnapping for ransom. That's kind of deep. Sorry, I missed the morning chat. I was working. You're good. No worries, Tusi. No worries. No worries. Glad you're here. So just on that right there, that little bucket, that little nugget there. What do you all think about that? Do you think he just said it just because that was the first thing that came to his mind? Do you think he said it because he really felt it was Savannah's fault? Or do you think he really knew that this was a kidnapping for ransom when this was the very beginning of like day number 1? What's your all's take? Chris, don't let that happen again, Tusi. Welcome in, Chris. What do you guys think? Doug, he already knew, and there probably was previous threats. Okay, that's logical. That makes sense. Tusi, Chris, that makes sense, Doug. That really does. He already knew, and there probably, but how did he know is my question. I know that there have been probably threats in the past, but how did he specifically know that's exact? I mean, how did he know? And how did he have the audacity to tell Savannah, yeah, it's your fault? I think it is. Doug says, they say the family knows who. But I'm going back to the beginning. Day 1. Family, unless family was involved, they didn't know squat, right? So going back to day 1, who had the biggest grudge against the Guthries? Well, I don't know. Tell me, who had the biggest grudge against the Guthries? There's a lot of possibilities. Massinalis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Massinalis. Okay. But you think that's it? You think that's basically, I mean, is that your final answer? Tusi, why would he say kidnapping right away? Well, that's what I'm asking. I get you, Doug. You're on the bloody Harlan, and I totally understand that. You've done a lot of work in that, so I get it. But the very first thing that comes out of his mouth, like this bloody thing just didn't happen, like a month before she went missing, right? It didn't happen a month before, or 2 months, or 6 months before Nancy went missing, right? It happened a while back, right? So I'm not sure that in his mind he's thinking, Massingalis, uranium. I'm not sure that's what he's thinking. So I'm trying to kind of get that. What exactly, like, how did he know that's what it was? I'm just trying to get your all's opinion. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do is get your all's opinion. It's a good point because you've been studying this, so you know about the Massingalis and the uranium and all that stuff. Totally get it. But the very first day he is going to make that comment. Why? Like, you're telling me every day for the last few years, several years, he's been thinking about this issue? Because I don't think he had. I don't think that's what was on his mind. Doug says ex-husband of Savannah? Einstein. MF Einstein. Okay. Good, good. Oh, if Nancy gave TC power of attorney, that might have ticked off Cam. That's a good possibility, Barney. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to think because I don't really know. That's why I'm asking that question. I've never really talked about Cameron. Yes, if there was previous communications. Okay. Tucci says the family had the job done and faking a kidnapping. Hit job, paid up front, ransom note, just to cover. Interesting. So, which ones of the family had this done? Tucci, which family members had this done? Because right now we're just talking about Cameron. But if you're thinking that that's the case, which ones? Which ones of the families did this? Which ones covered it up? Cam also can fly planes. Yes, F-16s. He can fly F-16s. He was a pilot, 26 years. He served his country, retired. T-A-N-C. T-A-N-C. TAC. TAC. T-A-C. TAC. So you're thinking TAC did this or planned this. T-A-N-C. That's interesting. That's very interesting because I never really thought about him being in that loop. But TAC is a good acronym. TAC is a good acronym. I like that. T-A-C. Interesting. Bible's in the house. Welcome in, Bible. Siblings against Savannah. So you're saying you think the siblings were all against Savannah. She had the money. They didn't. They wanted it. The only way they were going to get it, take out mom. Barney, Tom, Annie, and Cam. Yeah, TAC. Tom, Annie, and Cam. And that's what Tucci just said. Tom, Annie, and Cam. Do you really think Cam would do that? And I'm asking this not because I disagree with you, because hey, this is an open chat, open opinion here. I'm just trying to do you really think he did that? He could do that? That is what Tucci is saying, I believe. Or Cat. Oh, Lord of mercy. I think TAC too. Really, Bible? You think it was TA and C too? Wow. The cat did it. Laughing out loud. Question. Bandit. Bandit was just on the table. I didn't want to yell at him because I didn't want you guys to go, well, what's he yelling at him for? Is he throwing something at him? No. But I hate when he's on the table. But anyway, the cat did it. Laughing out loud. Question. Bandit. The cat did it. Wow. So you all think you think that threesome right there pulled this off. They were the masterminds behind this. I think this is also a possibility. Okay. No, I respect that. That's a good processing of all the people because I've just never thought of Cam. But I always wondered that question too. But then I've always thought, well, maybe because he understood those things from the military, the ransom, the kidnappings, and that kind of stuff in the military when they would, take somebody, dignitaries or something for ransom, being other countries, third world countries. That's what they did a lot, So that's what I always thought, but I just never explored it. I really have no clue who did it, but only 3 have disappeared. Cat, hey, that's a fact. That is true. Well said. Well said. It does make a lot of sense. Who are the only ones that haven't talked at all? All 3 of those. Who are the ones that are staying out of sight, out of mind? All 3 of those. Who are the ones covering their face when they had to go to Nancy's house, all three of those. That's very true. I really have no clue. But that makes a lot of sense, no doubt about it. I mean, I could see that. With Cam's help, probably, but not A and T alone. With Cam's help, probably, but not A and T alone. That's interesting. That is very interesting, and I like that. I like that. I think that's a different scenario without a doubt. You know, I heard the TIR room talk about how Chris McDonough would always say Cameron was not there. He's off limits. He definitely didn't do it. But then you ask the question, I asked the question, how did he so quickly throw Savannah under the bus like that? Bible, Cat, nothing from them at all. That is very true. They haven't said nothing. Zero. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. I mean, it could be someone who had a fight on Facebook with NG. Yeah, I mean, that's very true. Very true, Doug. Very true. It's just if we went down that rabbit hole, then what we could say is it could have been anybody. And we know, and I know that it could have been anybody that did it. Okay, because that's really where it looks like it's headed. Like we don't know, so anybody could have done it, and I get it. Anybody could have done it. It could have been the Sue Ellen. It could have been, in my opinion, it could have been anybody in that area, right? Anybody in that area could have been the ones, in my opinion. So I'm assuming that's what you're saying. It could be anything. The reason I focus on Kim is just because we never focused on him before, and I wanted to get your all's take. It's not because I think he did or didn't do it. Not because I think he was a part or wasn't a part of it. Just never really talked about him. In my opinion, Sue Yellen seemed overprotective of her property. She really did. There's another strange cat. Not cat, but, another strange cat. Yes, she was very, very, and she was friends with Annie, wasn't she? She was friends with Annie, to my understanding. C is my number one suspect, says Bible. Interesting. Number one. Wow. Okay. Cats. C-A-T. Cats. Well, I like that. Bundle them all up. Listen, I found a connection to S-E and T-M. Interesting. TM. I know what T might be, but what is M? It doesn't sound. I'm not familiar with TM. 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 I know SC. TM. Who's TM? Interesting. The Massengale. Okay. And you found that with them, so there's a connection between the lady that hated anybody on her property and made it hell for all the streamers and T. Massengale. Interesting. She's a geologist at the university like SG. SE. She's a geologist at the university like SG. Interesting. Did I miss one here? 2C. I feel no way Nancy put Tommy on her paperwork. I feel Nancy had, sorry about that, 2C. I missed that. I feel Nancy had Savannah on the papers feeling she is the stable one in the family, and jealousy from Kat pushed them out the edge. Makes a lot. That makes sense. No, it does make sense. Barney says, "Who is Massengale?" Doug. Barney wants to know who is Massengale. Miss Barney. Doug says, Bloody Harlan. Buddy Harlan. Interesting. What do you think about that, Barney? Bloody Harlan. Barney says, I still don't get it. Doug, would you like me to bring you up so you can explain it? There it is, Doug. Doug's coming into chat because he's going to explain it to you, Barney, and everybody else about the Massengale and this topic of what's happening. Tusi, I also don't trust Zach and Luke. Well, Luke for sure, and Zach for sure. I still have LD as my number one suspect, to be honest with you. Bible, Tusi, I am with you. There you go, my friend. You are in.
All right, there we go, dog.
All right. Fill them in on what you got.
All right, so there's articles out there that you can read and stuff, but Bloody Harlan was a war that happened back in 1930s against the Guthrie family and the people of Harlan over coal mining accidents. And the Massengale family, in the big great accident, there was 25 people who lost their lives, and 6 of them were brothers of the Massengale family. So what I'm saying is I traced a Massengale to Tucson that works at the same university as Sue Ellen in like the same field. And I don't know if it means anything or not, but it's just strange that one of them descendants of that family made it to Tucson. I mean, Nancy even worked at that university.
Correct. That is correct.
So it's just a connection that's, I don't know, it needs to be looked at. And we do know that there was the time that they went and questioned people at that university in that department. The FBI did. Remember that one day?
Yeah.
It was probably a month and a half in. They went over there and were asking some questions. So there's just so many different things out there, but you got to look at them all, I think.
Absolutely. No, you're exactly right, bud. You're exactly right.
And I'm talking about hatred that's generational. Like this family blames that family for ruining their lives.
And what was the reason that they were in battle with each other for?
Because of the accidents. So it was against safety in mining. This war pushed for the company that we now know as OSHA.
Okay.
So we're talking pre-OSHA. And these types of accidents are the things that made that institution exist.
So somewhere in the line, the Guthries were responsible for 26?
That was just one accident. There's many more, but that was the big one. Yep, 25 people.
25.
6 were brothers.
6 of them were brothers.
Yeah, and there was also, I think, 4 other family members, but they were injured but survived. Gotcha, so there was 10 of them total.
Okay. So I got 6 of them out of the 25 were brothers. The
Yep.
Guthries versus the Massengales. This happened in
Yep.
1930.
It was
It was
1938, I think.
38. Okay, 1938. I'm writing this down because I want to look at this here later. Um, and okay, and so they're coming back in 38, and you're thinking that there's been that grudge that they've just been waiting for that perfect moment.
That's what I think. Yeah, they just been waiting and waiting, and they know that if there's an assisted living argument going on, and they're talking about putting Nancy in a home, she won't be a soft target anymore. As
I
soon as
got
she
you.
goes away, they can't get to her, and you lose the opportunity.
Makes a lot of sense there.
So we got to strike now.
No, that does make sense. When you put it like that and you break it down, yeah, absolutely. All right. And this is right before pre-OSHA.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. OSHA took about another 10 years. I think it was 1952 that OSHA was actually founded.
1852. Okay.
I don't have notes. I'm just going off memory.
No,
But I'm
no, no.
pretty
I
sure
got you,
that was
bud. I
the
got
year.
you. No worries. It just gives me something to look at. So, what do you think, Barney? Now that you heard Doug explain what he was talking about, that's what he was getting at about the incident or the back and forth between the Massengale and the Guthries involving an accident, a safety accident that happened that took out 6 brothers of the other family. Very interesting, Doug. Stay on board here with me.
Yeah, I'm here.
Appreciate it. Bible says my psychic friend swears it's political, and she's usually right. You want to give us a name, maybe? Bible, so we can go ahead and look it up, or do you know who it is? Kat, Zach, Luke, Derek, Kalela, and Nanos. Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of those, that's for sure. All right, let me go back and read these. Marianne, who's Tusi Bible, Tusi. Thank you for clarifying that, Doug. Bible, my psychic friend swears it's political and she's usually right. Tusi, payback. Cold is always the best revenge. Needs to wait until the out of sight and out of mind. That is true. But 1938 is a long time to wait. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Oleg, hi everyone. Just got home. I'm late. You're good, Oleg. You're good. Welcome in. Marianne, did you hear there was another unaliving today? A 65-year-old. They are looking for a Hispanic. It's always a Hispanic guy. 5 to 10 driving a Ford truck. I didn't hear. Well, wait a minute. Someone earlier said something about. Is that the one Tucson was going to check out, Marianne? Because I think somebody said something about Tucson was checking about somebody who became unalive. Tucci, Oleg. Barney, that was almost 100 years ago, though. I guess it might be possible. Very understandable. Understand that. It definitely was a long time ago, and maybe they were just waiting for the perfect time. Annie, hey, everyone. Welcome in, Annie. Bible, she hasn't given any specifics. Okay. But she's usually right. All right. Well, let us know. Let us know what you hear. I'm going to write this down here. At Harlan Enterprise. Let me write this down here.
Yeah, that's the magazine that put out an article on this about Nancy Guthrie. There's an article in there about this. That's
I'm going to write this down here real quick.
from the county of Harlan. Believe me, the people of Harlan haven't forgot about it.
And Harlan is where? Where is it located?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
It's just one of many possible scenarios and theories.
Absolutely.
But this is one nobody's looked at yet, but it's right there in front of you. Like, We ruled everything else out. Let's rule this one out, or rule them to still be in. Everything's still on the table. Not really out, but
Sure. No. That's
not
hey,
proved, not disproved. It's kind of just out there in freaking
it's out
limbo.
there.
And it could
No,
be.
definitely need to check it out without a doubt. Without a doubt, definitely need to check it out. And that, hey, I think it's interesting. That's why I wrote this stuff down because I want to go ahead and just see like where this all spins from. Bible, she hasn't given any specifics. Doug put down Harlan Enterprise, Bloody Harlan. It's a magazine that put this out. If anybody wants to look at it, 2C, yes. Marianne, yes. Okay, yeah. Somebody earlier had said something about 857 was going to go check that out or something. But thanks, Marianne. Appreciate that. Annie, yes, 857 is there now. Doug, ask the people of Harlan. They haven't forgotten. Interesting. And I tell you what, there is a lot of people hold grudges a long time. So, and sometimes it goes generations to generations. So, I mean, it is possible. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Hannibal Lecter. Tusi, Barney, agree. Annie, 857 is there talking to a couple of people saying maybe a son there. Interesting. Jim, Harlan is in Kentucky. Is it in Kentucky or North Carolina? Doug? Are you still with us, Doug?
It is Kentucky.
It is Kentucky. Okay.
Yeah, my bad. My bad.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
I was making sure that I actually made a mistake, and I did. That's why I should have my notes out, but
No. You're fine. That's all right. As long as we know.
it's Kentucky.
Because they got what the what was that? The McCoys and what was the other one?
Hatfields and
Hatfield and
McCoy.
McCoys. Yeah, they always had something going on.
And also, this is a place that Savannah or Nancy took the kids to Harlan County to see where she was actually from, because that's where Nancy was originally from, was Kentucky.
Got you.
Within the last, I think, year and a half. So just like they went to El Charro, they went to Harlan County and visited some places.
Got you. Interesting. So they did go out there during that CBS thing or whatever, that Today Show thing.
I don't think it was part of that. I think it was just a family outing where Nancy brought the girls to Kentucky so that she could show them where she grew up and probably the mines that Dad ran and all that stuff.
Got you. Welcome in, Chris. Welcome in.
I think you're both out of your mind.
There's a school named after them and an airport there, and they get all the glorification in Harlan County. There's a lot of things named after the people of the coal mines.
Interesting.
And I think the people of Harlan kind of have a grudge about it because they gave a lot of lives and sacrifice, and I don't think anything was ever named after any of them.
Oh, got you. You
know what I mean? It's kind of
no. It definitely is something interesting. No doubt. You can't look at everything across the table. What's going on, Chris? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I can look at everything on the table. When it's food, I can see it all. Everything. I don't miss nothing.
Jim Survival says Harlan. Doug, Jim, you're 100%. I'm sorry I was going off my head. You're good. AJ, hey, friends, I'm back.
Oh,
right.
AJ.
Jim, Tusi. It is Kentucky. Doug, do you know where you are? Laughing out loud.
Doug, I know where he is.
Sometimes.
Tusi, all good, Doug. All good. Good job. Tusi, welcome back, AJ. AJ, Tusi, thank you.
How
good
is
to
everybody?
see you all.
Hey, AJ, that's my...
Barney, Hannibal quote correction. Connection to something Annie or S said. What's with the lips? What's with the lips? Says Tusi.
I don't know.
He don't know.
They look like the lips from True Blood, the vampire series.
Oh, you know? There you go.
Chris is a vampire, I think.
Well,
I think that may be like his fetish thing. There you go. the red. Oh, there you go. Horrible background, Chris, says AJ.
Thanks, AJ.
Jim. All right.
there.
Well, Barney loves the lips, Chris.
I like them too, but you know.
Barney HM. Barney Rocky Horror Movie. Annie, you might need to go in and come out if you can't see the chat. For some reason, Chris kind of does that sometimes. He'll come in and it's just like everything goes all this, all combobulated and gets all crazy.
Sitting here being
discombobulated. What the heck was that?
I was just sitting here being nice. Dog has to stop.
Well, no,
boy.
I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
Here we go.
Hi, AJD. Awesome.
See, I had to change my background because, as we all know, AJ is the co-producer now. So,
well, there you go.
You know,
co-producer.
Little bit of pull she has now. You know. So,
definitely.
What you boys be talking about?
So we're just talking. I brought up what was the take of Cameron. What was his? Because we talked about everybody else but Cameron. And I was basically telling everybody that I just kind of wondered, like, what is his role? What could have? Does he have anything to do? I mean, talking about when Savannah first called him, and he said when she asked him about, "Do you think it's my fault? Is this my fault?" And then he says, "Sis, yes, I think it is." Like, just threw her under the bus. So that's what I was asking about, because it just always kind of stuck with me, even though a lot of people have said that there's a few people in here that are saying they think it's Cameron. He's the individual.
Well, I think if it's family related and it's, daughter and son-in-law, no names. I didn't say no names. Right. I think Cameron knows.
Interesting.
But see, I take what he said to her different than everybody else does, because it wasn't an outright, "Yes, sis, I believe it is you." It was a, "Cameron, do you really think it could be about me?" And Cameron said, "Yeah, I think it could be." He didn't come right out and say, "Yes, it is." He came out and said, "Yes, I didn't think it could be."
I looked that up, what he said actually, because I don't remember hearing that. I heard him say, or I thought I heard him say, "Yes, sis, I think it is."
Yeah, let me know. Maybe I heard it wrong.
Yeah, look it up if you got a minute. Look it up to see if you can find it, and just let us know. Because I thought he said, "Yes, sis, I think it is."
It was the Hoda interview where she said it, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, it was Hoda. What a name.
So I just kind of wondered, like, what was his, covered everybody else. So, I've always kept him off the radar because of his military service. And I was quickly reminded by Barney that, hey, not all military are good people. So, and that's definitely true. That is definitely true.
Bible put in there, and that actually, you know what? That actually does sound right. But like you said, how would he know?
Yeah, I get it. Like, when I first heard it, I thought, well, maybe because of the military pilot, intelligent courses, because I think he has some intelligence behind him in the military.
Yeah, that he has a lot of it.
And so they deal with a lot of, like, these third world countries doing kidnappings and for ransoms and different things. So at the very beginning, I thought, well, that he probably was like Johnny on the spot. He was probably right, But then the more I thought about it, and I kept hearing other people say, how other law enforcement, other people, even Gary Bricado, saying, how did he know that? Like, that's just not normal. And I thought, maybe we just need to look at this.
Yeah, the only way he would know is if he knew the situation.
Sure.
That's the only way. That's kind of the stupidest thing to come right out and say. But again, he's not dumb. He is
No,
smart.
absolutely not.
So if you sit there for 15 minutes and say, why the hell would they kidnap my mother? That's probably going to be the first thing that pops into your mind.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
if they kidnapped me, nobody would think it was for money. Wouldn't be for many things.
Don't feel bad, man. I'm in your boat, man. I'm with you.
You know, so they would. What would they kidnap me for?
Carol's in the house. Welcome in, Carol.
Nothing. So I don't got nothing worried about.
I was going to say Bible. That's exactly what SG
Yeah,
said.
no, that does sound right.
So, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I don't want to make it seem like he's anything involved. It's just the idea, like that always. It didn't really stick with me, as in like I felt like he was a part of this, but it always kind of like I just gave him that grace, like I said, because of his military, his 26 years, his being a pilot at flying F-16. I mean, you're not a dummy when you're flying those and you're doing that, you know?
Yeah, but from what I'm learning a little bit more about him is that he was big time into intelligence.
Yeah, that's
Big
what
time.
yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder if he flew like, I mean, I know what he flew. He flew, you know, an F-16, but I wonder if he flew one of those spy plane things.
Very possible.
You know?
Very
Because
possible.
he's in, you know, and you know, which it's like a whole nother topic to go down. But do you know what, you know, MK does? Do you know what he's in charge of?
MK?
Yeah. First person Savannah called.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what he's in charge of?
I think Doug said it before a couple of days ago.
Senate Intelligence Committee.
Yeah, he's the top intelligence committee guy. There's nobody higher than him. So
Yeah, he's the guy that decides what Trump gets his information or not. He get collected from all the organizations with 3 letters, and then he filters it and gives his report to the president of the United States.
Yeah. Not only is he in, not only does he, it's FBI, it's CIA, it's DHS, it's everything.
All of them.
And he knows it all. He knows more about everything than anybody.
And what's the position that he has?
He's a senator, but he's the Senate, and what is it called? The Senate what?
Senate Intelligence Committee, but he's the top. He's the top guy. There's only 9 people in the committee out of all the senators.
So he's more important to this government than a lot of people. Because FBI and everybody, they go to him.
That's interesting because I thought they would normally have, since whoever controlled Congress, they would have the appointed person, and they control both houses. So I thought somebody on the Republican would be controlling that
it's mixed.
That committee.
It's a mix.
Yes, no. I know it's a mix. I get this a mix, but there's always one person that's in charge, and it's usually the party that has the power that within.
Yeah.
He also controls the distribution of the money.
Yep.
To Black Box Project and all the 3-letter organizations. Like, he's part of the Appropriations Committee also, so he gets to decide who gets money and who doesn't.
So do they all take a vote to see if it goes through that they're going to give that money, or is it just his word only needed?
It's the committee's decision.
Okay, got you.
He's just the powerful one, you know, because he's the head of it. But
got you.
I mean, that's a big guy right there. That's a lot. That's a lot. You talk about a lot of weight and a lot of power in your hands.
It's like being the speaker.
Doug said. Yeah, he just
Speaker of the House. It's the same. It's almost the same type thing. Like, they're the leader of the group of people. You know what I mean? In politics.
Right.
My bad.
No, you're okay. We're going down this hole because No, you're good. You're good. That's interesting. Jim says, and he's a hole big time. He's an a-hole big time. Bible, that's Mrs. Bright, right? Mrs. B, right? The smart one. Jim, they vote. He's the chairman. Yeah, I just always thought that, like I said, the leader of the of the party, whether it was the House or the Senate, they were the ones that had their guy as in charge of it. But hey, maybe he has just as much say as anybody else, right? Anybody else on that 9 committee?
Yeah.
Okay, that would. I
They're
mean,
all
that would
they're
make
all
sense.
pretty much they're all pretty much equal power.
Pretty much equal. Got you. That makes sense.
One's a liaison to probably talk to all the different branches. So it's just the person that you appoint to relay information wherever it's got to go. I don't think he holds any more power than any of the other 8. It's a committee, and they are all equal.
There you go. That makes sense. Yeah.
But that's still pretty powerful.
Oh no doubt. Without a doubt, it's powerful. I mean, that's just the responsibilities and the narratives that he carries. You know, the responsibilities and what that 9-member committee is responsible for. That's huge. That's very huge. Very powerful. You know, I don't know. Like, you know, it seems like everything. Well, I'm really going to go down politic road, so let's just get off of that one. Barney, I have often wondered if Cam knew someone was coming after his mom. He may have took her somewhere secret and safe. You know, I mean, that's a good thought, Barney. That's a good thought. I'm not sure that they could keep it this hush-hush with everything and all these different groups that are involved, whether they were searching, even people, you know, that are looking for her. I don't know how they justify not saying anything if she is alive, you know, being if that was the case, but it's possible. Juicy, book smart, street dumb. Well said, Juicy, well said. So that's why we were on that topic, is trying to kind of figure out, you know, what everybody was thinking. That's very interesting. Right. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about there, and then bring up the Snyder, the Sider family. So anybody knows what's going on with the Siders at all lately? Anything? AJ says, how is this case going to get solved? I want to hear everyone's thoughts on that. On which case? The Siders or the Nancy Guthrie? I'm assuming you're talking about the Siders, right? Let us know, AJ. Which one are you talking about? The Siders? Sorry, I was still typing. Oh, for NG. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to get solved, to be honest. Honestly, in the past, when I was always asked, I was always telling people they have to solve it because they can't let this go unchecked, because then they're going to have their hands full with everybody wanting to do the same thing, you know? But now it's like, my God, 175, give or take, days that she's been gone. And with what we find out about the first 2 ransom notes, if you believe those are true or not, I mean, yeah, I don't know how this gets solved, because they're really, I don't think the persons who wrote those first 2 ransom notes, whether they were obviously possibly different people that wrote the first and the second, I don't think they made any contact with anybody after that. I think they just said, we're done. And you know, now we're hearing a lot of other things about different individuals that are filling that void, claiming, you know, they'll take a half a Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, you know, maybe a Domino's pizza or something if they go ahead. And I mean, the reality is that I think they've never made contact back since that very beginning. I don't feel like they have made any contact, because they've gotten away with it. So now it's just a matter of stay hush hush and we're out of harm's way. You know what I mean? What's your all's take? What's your all's take, Doug, Chris, and everybody else on the panel and the channel?
On the Siders?
No, on AJ asked a question AJ asked the question if how is this gonna basically end? She was
How's
talking
it
about
gonna
how
be
is this
solved?
case gonna get solved. I want to know everyone's thoughts.
I think the science is going to solve it. And I think technical innovation in one of the fields, whether it's the SNPs or the IgG or the just straight up DNA in a database somewhere, is going to be how it's going to be solved. Whichever one of the pieces of DNA can be used.
Okay. Tuesday
You know,
says cold case. Go ahead, Chris. Go
you
ahead.
know what I heard last night?
Tell me.
You guys have had the pleasure of dealing with Army vet, right?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
It's a smart dude, and this is what he does: intelligence. That's why you don't hear him say really a lot. You just hear his opinion because he can't say a lot.
Got you. Well, that would make sense.
But um, but he knows certain things. He's heard certain things, and he said that they knew about the disappearance a few days before.
Interesting.
So, yeah, Savannah. Oh, they all knew a few days before it even happened that she was out.
So she was at the day Saturday evening, right? At the son and daughter and son-in-law's.
Maybe this is the problem. Who knows when she went missing? We
Right,
don't know. It was Saturday.
True.
You know, we don't even know if she went to the.
Right.
But here's the other thing too: is I haven't heard anything about the Uber. All I heard is they've talked to the Uber person. We don't know what day, what time. We don't know nothing about that. That's the problem here. They're telling us, oh yeah, well she took an Uber, she came home, she did this, they did it. We don't know that. Nobody can prove that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know
Right.
who the Uber person is, or the timestamps you can't go by because they could change those. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like in any
Right.
video, the timestamps, they just adjust that. You know what I mean? Like when you're watching that, don't forget when we're watching that tape of him on the front porch, when he turns around to go get the bushes, don't forget that tape jumps. So that's a splice. So they spliced that before they released it. That's not the original video.
So Army vet says it probably they knew 2 days before the actual what they're saying now.
Yes.
Interesting.
But again, it's just somebody saying, but this guy is legit, but you know, but he doesn't say much because he can't, because he's
Right.
still doing what he's doing.
Right.
And you know they're listening.
Well, absolutely. He's got especially if he's got a high clearance. If he's got a high clearance, then
that's
there's
what
no
he's
there's no way they're gonna not know.
he's a smart man.
Yeah, I love
Very
that.
smart. Yeah, I mean he knows what he's talking about. And
I talk to him every day.
Yeah, and did he tell you about that?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, but it can go back even further if you go with what Justine thinks. She thinks it happened on the 11th, and she has all the jammer date evidence that she got from like when all the internets went down.
Yeah, she got all her FOIAs back too from the sheriffs.
Pretty little clues.
Yeah, pretty little clues. They finally sent everything.
I mod for her too, so yeah.
Yeah, it's
well, it's just over there.
This Army vet. This dude's good.
He's real good.
Real good.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to go ahead and follow him.
Yeah, he's where he
Army
points
vet
up.
420.
This is, where he puts this is way above everybody. Like way up top. That this was some type of a something. But I mean, it's
some type of cabal thing.
He puts it right where I put it.
Yeah, he does. He holds it up there high, like, and I'm sure he knows more that he can't say,
right?
Because he still is. I mean, he'll says anything wrong, we'll never see him again. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
But yeah, listen to him. He's spot on with everything he's pretty much said. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's the thing. We don't know. We don't know if it was that night. We don't know if it was the 11th. We don't know if it was. Who knows? You know, and it's just it sits in my head with stuff that we don't know and we can't seem to find out.
Right.
Because maybe there was no Uber guy or girl. Maybe there was no this. So maybe there was no that. There's nothing to look for. There's nobody to look for. So it kind of just keeps rolling. You know what I'm saying? It's the same stuff over and over and over and over and over. And then, you know, somebody pulls something up new and it's like, oh, hey, you know, and then we go on it. But, you know, I'm not sure. Now, after listening to him last night and the stuff that he was saying last night, I'm not sure that I don't even know anymore now. Now my mind's just like.
So you had it with TIR and then lost it with Army Vet.
Yeah, because he brings it right back to.
Opens it right back up for you.
Yeah, he does. And you know, when you listen to him and you think about it, you're like, Jesus Christ, that makes sense because he knows who MK is. He knows what MK is all about. He knows what MK does because that's his area.
Right.
And he knows other stuff that's going on. So, but he can't come out and say stuff like that. So he just kind of, you know, he kind of beats around the bush so you can understand what he's saying, but he doesn't come out right and say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
He's
smart.
He's smart because he knows. I mean, shit, he'd be gone. Like, see ya. But yeah. So again, no clue, really. And if it does go high up, we may never know.
Yeah, that I can see happening.
I mean, but the other thing too is if you know, is she alive still? Was this not like a cover up, but was this something to protect the family because of something that you know her husband did or whatever, or Savannah's husband or whatever, or something Savannah did and they got threats on the mother? That I mean, that could be a possibility too.
Sure.
And then, but would it really? If it was threats and they're trying to hide her and stuff, I don't really think you'd have to, you know, stage a kidnapping. Like you just don't say anything.
Right.
Nobody would ever know.
Yeah, where's she at? Oh, she's vacationing. She's gone for a while. I mean,
but then if nobody comes back and stuff, then you get to good. But so again, I don't know. I have a headache over it. It's driving me absolutely insane. But I do just.
Go ahead.
I want to fill you guys in real quick.
Go ahead.
Whatever 857 was on, it was a 65-year-old lady that was unalive suspiciously. He is on scene, but now he was saying that this could have happened on July 6th. And maybe they just found her or something, but that's what he said, but that's not confirmed. And I guess from what he made it sound like it was just found out today that she was unalive.
So they just found the body, but depending on the postmortem and all that.
Yeah, but he did. He mentioned something about the 6th, that it could have been there, but he didn't know for sure. So
interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that would be the 3rd or 2nd. So third, right?
I think it's the 3rd, yeah, because there was another one.
Not including Nancy.
No, there was one with just recently, about 2 weeks ago.
The one that got SA'd.
Yes,
lived. It was her, whoever or whatever happened here, and then there was another one somewhere else. I don't know if it was an unalive.
Well, there was one that was. Remember, there was one that was the 84-year-old out in the desert after Nancy.
Yeah.
Saying that very next day or something to that effect.
Yeah.
AJ says.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
This too, I brought up to them last night in the whatever we were doing. The chat I had. I don't even know whatever I was doing. Nothing because I wasn't. Was I on last night? I got my internet back at like 11:30 last night.
Okay.
I don't know if I got on that pan. I don't know. I was in the chat anyways, I had said, "Hey, what do you think?" I'm sorry, man. I'm losing it. I don't know if it was last night, but I asked him, "Do you think that um, the missing scientist guy, the general major
Oh,
McAllister,
McCaslin.
McAllister, could it be connected somehow?" And I didn't get a no. So,
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
because those two went missing. You got to remember, him and Nancy went missing either the same day or back to back. So, but when I mentioned that, somebody in the chat or somebody said, "Why would they be connected? Why would Nancy be connected to whatever?" But then I'm like, well, maybe it's not Nancy
Uranium.
or uranium, but maybe it's Cameron.
Or Cameron was Cameron threatened the way that these other people that took off were, but he didn't comply, so they went after his mother.
Remember,
That could
Cameron,
be how he knew. Like I said, previous threat.
yeah, Cameron knew a lot. He was in intelligence. He knew a lot. So there's so many things coming out now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all connected somewhere. You know what I mean? It connects because they just, So it's yeah, it's crazy. Ooh, what's for dinner, dude?
Oh, I don't have anything. Not
What?
at this moment.
I hear it.
What?
I hear it being made. It's being prepared.
It's the little guinea pigs that are getting their food.
There you go.
Can
Jump
you
in.
tell?
Jump in and help.
Hey, Jay says, are we trusting the DNA whenever it comes back? I don't think it's going to come back to anything, to be honest. In all
It's
honesty,
gone
in
now.
my opinion, AJ, I don't think that's going to be anything. I think that's just could be a red herring. Could be just this will appease them for a while,
Yep.
keep everybody on track.
Yeah,
Just my opinion.
We don't even know, in the transportation from Pima County to Florida, and then however long Florida had it before they transported it way back out to, down to Quantico. Who knows what shape it's in? Plus, there's no route with it. So who knows what they did to it in Florida? So I don't think we'll ever hear back about it. I don't even think it's going to be, we couldn't find anything. I just think it's going to be
a nothing burger.
No, nothing burger. Just the way they want it.
Bible says, AJ, I think they will start arresting people the day Savannah leaves the country. It'd be nice. Groundsky, I have given up on the Nancy case by now. Welcome in, Groundsky. Thank you for being here. AJ, I hope so. Bible, I think Kat, LUUK, Zach, Derek, Nanos will all go down together. It'd be nice. That's CAT is you know who CAT is, right?
But
AT&C.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Let me just present you with this question.
Sure.
What if this is way above everybody?
Okay.
And it doesn't involve Nanos.
Well, if this is a way above everybody, this doesn't involve Nanos. He's a peon.
He's still an idiot. He still broke the law. But what I'm saying is he might not even be involved in this. He may have got the whole get your guys and get the hell away from this house. Okay, whatever you say, government. Bye-bye. And I'm not making any excuses. He still needs to be fired and put in jail.
No, I get you.
I'm not sure he's connected in this.
He may not be, because if it's that high, once again,
they don't care about him.
He's a nothing burger.
No, he's
a patsy. They're gonna pin it on him.
Right now he's being the patsy, which is fine. I could care less. I mean, he's an idiot. He should have never had the position in the first place. But everybody is killing him, and he might not even be involved in this. So then it's like,
I agree. I agree. I think that's a very good point.
It's just somebody mentioned that the other day, and I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense, because he's got no power over anything beyond Pima County. So who cares? So if the CIA comes flying in and says, "Hey, buddy, get the hell out of here," He's going right back to his office.
And going
Yeah.
back fishing.
So
I don't work on the weekends.
nope. There's your car.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, Savannah calling Mark for calling MK and the FBI get involved. Like I said, I think they're the ones that smudged the investigation. It alerted the Black Ops community. It wasn't just Pima County they were running from anymore. Like now they got the feds looking for them, and they were pinned. On top of that, and they told her not to pay. That's like I said. I think that the FBI is responsible for that decision, and the feds.
Yeah, that makes sense, no doubt about it.
Yes, AJ, he is a moron.
I definitely am.
He is no, not you. Nanos. Well, I mean,
Bible say, Growski, hold on. Let's see what happens when Savannah leaves the country. April, I think DC is going to sing and arrest will go down.
She's done now.
Marianne, April, hello, Growski. I would love that case to start to resolve. Love the case to start to resolve. I agree.
Me too.
Bible, April thinks he is singing like a bird. Marianne
know.
says, go ahead.
No, I all I was going to say is it has nothing to do with Nancy Guthrie. It has to do with you guys discussed this morning because I was sleep looking. Does that make sense? I was sleeping, waking up, looking, sleeping. I was, like I said to you yesterday when we talked, I was blown away with whatever the hell that cause of death was.
Oh no, I agree. So was I.
Joanna.
Yeah, that just was like I
I
still
have a
don't buy
hard
it
time
though.
believing it.
I still don't buy it. I think,
but
I don't think it's anything like what we're talking about here right now.
No,
but I do think that I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense to me.
I mean, I know withdrawals are bad, and yeah, there's some issues, but dude was there. Like, how long did you go pee for, dude?
There's no one even mentioned his name. His name never came out.
Nope.
Like who was he? Who was he related to? Was he related to the sheriff? Was he related to the governor? Was he related to who? Who was he related to?
Had to be somebody. I mean,
for them not to release the name.
They mentioned all the people that found her or called.
Right.
They mentioned all their names, but the guy who she was with, they didn't say one thing about.
Nothing.
Something.
The guy that gave you the most probably was the number one uno person of interest, and they didn't even mention his name.
No, there was no arrest. There was no nothing.
That was crazy.
And then she comes and sorry, I don't believe it.
I don't either. I really don't either, to be honest. I think there's a little bit of stuff that we're not being told as to who he's related to or maybe affiliated with, and they don't want to shake anything, they don't want to shake that tree because they're afraid of what, everything else will come out, probably. Just my opinion. Marianne, I think DC did say things that he received 5 years probation. April, AJ, Bible, AJ, don't mind the last emoji, April, to see Marianne. Yes, hopefully, April, all I have missed saying hi. Hello, April. To see, hi, April. Marianne, why would they wait for Savannah to leave the country? I would think, if anything, it's probably because they want to make their move when she's out of sight so that nobody comes asking her for a comment. Maybe. Just maybe. I don't know. But that's the only thing I could think of. Barney, so my guess may be close to the truth. Jacqueline, welcome in, Jacqueline. Good to have you. Bible, if it's political, I don't think it will ever be solved. I agree with that, Bible. I agree with that. Oleg, without a doubt. Oleg, hi, April, Bible, Jacqueline, April, YouTube channel. There it is, everybody, the YouTube channel. Marianne, I'm with Nina. She is alive somewhere, and since A&T are MIA, they are taking care of her. Interesting. I really don't think she is, but that's a good point. That is a good point. AJ, Marianne, AJD. April, YouTube, Pretty Little Clues. Thank you so much, April, for posting that. Barney, no matter what, I hope Nancy's grandchildren are being well protected. Jim, Savannah's already left the country. She is in UK filming her game show. Well, let's see if we hear anything. No knock and talk. Just break the doors down and start making the arrest. That would be nice. Tusi, Chris, stay still. There's a bear behind you. Kara Tusi. Bible, I put Nanos in the mix when he said the sheriff usually doesn't get involved in kidnapping. He said it's usually the local police who investigate them. So why was he there? Because he's a numbnuts, probably, in my opinion. AJ, I think Nanos, good point, though. Good point. AJ, I think Nanos is guilty of a lack of leadership. He is just a moron. I don't think he is involved. Yes to all that, without a doubt. Bible, Jim, well, maybe it won't be long before arrest comes. Growski, I am still suspicious of the hiker at the Big Sur. Yeah, that's what Chris was just talking about. It just doesn't make sense. Everything that was stated just doesn't make sense. I mean, they didn't answer a lot of questions. They didn't comment on a lot of things. You know, why did she have this off? Why was the mark on her head? Why? Nothing. What did she have in her system? Was she nothing? There is just nothing there. I tried to find the friend of hers name in the Johanna case and not to be found. Yeah, they never gave it. The whole case, they never said that person's name. Not one time. That's just not normal. That's just not normal. Not when you're the only one or the last one to see her alive. They're not going to mention her name. I just don't buy that. Tushi didn't trust Nanos after he said he was there at Nancy's Saturday night instead of saying Sunday. Maybe he was there Saturday night when the kidnapping went down. Maybe he was one of them in the mask. Who knows? That's a possibility. You never know, in my opinion. Barney, be right back. Pups need to go out. AJ, okay, Barney. Up. April, I haven't said much on this level, but I think Nancy may have investments in Bitcoin, and someone in the family knew this. It's possible. I mean, wasn't Tommaso and Annie taking care of her finances? Thank you, Groundsky, for supporting the channel with a membership. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Groundsky. Thank you for always supporting the channel. I haven't said much on this level of 2C Bible, 2C exactly. Holly, I thought it was, welcome in, Holly. I thought it was strange that the 84-year-old lady with health issues would be out so late. It's a good point. Marianne, thank you, Groundsky. So yeah, I mean that's interesting. Look, I don't know if it's this high as what I'm hearing right now. AJ, thank you, Growski. I don't know if it's this high. I don't know if it's this to this level. I really honestly don't know, and I wouldn't even begin to try to guess. If it's this high level, then yeah, Nanos is not going to be anything to do with this. And if it's definitely this high level, we're probably never going to hear what exactly has happened, right? We're not going to hear what happened. We're not going to hear anything. It's just going to go in the wind. That's exactly what's going to happen. So, because if it's that high level, they're not going to publicize any of this. Just not going to do it. You know,
it's going to be national security.
Yeah, it's just going to. Yeah, it'll be one of these JFK files. You know, never going to be open. It's going to be sealed, and that's it. So I could see that never being resolved. If it's that high of a level, I still haven't been convinced that it's that high, but just because I don't believe it is, that doesn't mean it's not. I mean, it very well could be. I mean, there's a lot of good points putting out here that, you know, different people have brought up, people who would have that type of knowledge. Like, again, this Army vet, I don't know this guy, but if everything Chris is saying and Doug is saying, then I would say, well, he does have credibility, obviously. So it is possible, man. Anything's possible when it comes to that, And yeah, I mean, just the idea that how everything unfolded. I don't know. I guess on those type of things, I'm okay being wrong if it is that high up, which I honestly don't think it is. But if it is, then I'm okay being wrong because that's not something you're normally going to hear or you're going to figure that out. You know what I mean? That's not something. That's something that is way above your pay grade.
I'm on all the time.
Ali,
I try.
is T going back to teaching this year? I have no idea if he's even coming back from wherever he's at.
You think that school's going to let his ass back in there?
Yeah, I don't think.
No way.
That's a good point, Chris. I don't think that school would do that.
Not because he's guilty or anything.
Right,
but
right.
Because there'd be media there all day long.
Yeah.
Dog would be outside with his chair rocking back and forth.
I would. I'd be like, hey, how you doing, compadre?
Doug will be over there mining for uranium.
Yeah. Can I touch on Tucci's comment real quick about Saturday?
Go ahead.
I think I have an explanation for that. And I think the whole Saturday thing with Nanos came from the blue Malibu the morning before with the lady screaming from the car. And at the time he says we were there Saturday night, they were thinking that may have been Nancy, which later on, a few days after that, they came out and said that it was unrelated. But I think at the time, they probably thought that lady was Nancy, and that happened on Saturday. So that's why they were there Saturday night.
Yeah,
got you.
That's why Nano said that. And they even changed the date because they had it dated Saturday in the beginning. I really think that's what they thought in the beginning, but then they disproved it. So then it changed to Sunday.
But let me ask you a question, right? Because I'm really drilled in on this one thing. Remember down the end of, not the end of our street, but down a little ways at the Culvers?
Yeah.
Remember when they were emptying out the Range Rover?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they need the white tarp? Why were they hanging the white tarp?
The only thing I can answer that,
something?
Chris, the only thing I could think that they did that for was because they didn't know what they were going to find. And if they had not done that, and let's just say for all sake and purposes that a body was in there, they wouldn't want anybody to know or see that body like that. So they had to, that's the only thing. Other than that, I have no other explanation for it.
Because usually the only time you see the white top is if somebody's
Deceased?
unalive, then they hang it over the car, or
Correct.
They're taking a body or somebody out that's injured or unalived.
That is correct.
That's usually the only time you see that. You know what I'm saying?
They seen that big black box in the back, and they were opening it, and they knew there was a drone in the sky and at least 3 or 4 cameras pointing at them. So they just covered it up just in case. Yeah. I think that's why they did it.
And then again, it could, you never know what was said, because when they went and served this search warrant, when they went and served it, it happened just the day before, KD was arrested, right? Mm-hmm. So, more than likely she gave up some information. Now, we don't know what she said, but maybe she said, hey, I know he was involved because X, Y, and Z. And if that's the case, then they're already going thinking they're going to have something, and they didn't have anything that we know of. Maybe they did have somebody in there. We don't know. But you know what I'm saying? It's very possible that is why they were expecting something to be there, like, for better lack of words, a body, and then there was nothing, or it appears there was nothing.
True. I you know what? I never thought of that. I would have never thought of what Holly just said, but that's pretty smart, though. I thought that maybe they got the backpack and jacket from the lost and found from a school.
Yeah, somebody had. Yeah, that somebody. I think it was TIR had said that's a long time ago when they first. Yeah, they said, what better than you can go to?
No trail
at all. Or they were saying about, the school where he worked at.
Yeah.
Maybe he got the backpack there. Maybe he got the glove, the gloves from his being a chemist. Maybe yeah, very true. Very well said.
The only thing that I would mention about that would be highly doubt you'd be getting the mask there. But
Well, right.
so that if that's the only thing you purchased or you found somewhere else, yeah. But no, that's a
It's a very good point.
it is a real good point.
Yep, without a doubt. Ground ski, I don't think this is that high up. And honestly, I don't either. But you know what? Like I said, if I'm wrong, that's okay. I can accept being wrong on something that big. Backpack and jacket lost and found from a school. Well said, Holly. Gronsky, that is what I heard about the use of the tarp as well. That's what I'm thinking. That's for some reason that's what's coming to my mind. That'd be the only reason you would cover that is just don't want anybody to see what the heck you're going to expose, and they don't want people to know for whatever reasons. Jim, I don't think the case will ever be solved, to be honest. And it looks that way, without a doubt, Jim. It looks that way. It looks that way because of the fact that it's like there's no sense of urgency in any of this. There's no sense of urgency. Now, I know I'm saying that loosely. I'm sure the family, is very, very would love to hear something, right? I'm sure the family would love to hear that they found her or at least they got their remains back or whatnot. But I don't see that there's any urgency in trying to locate her. I don't see that there's anybody even really other than streamers. I don't think there's anybody really searching for her. Now, do I know that for a fact? No, but just my opinion. I mean, we're not hearing anything. We're not seeing any movement. It's not like streamers who were going out there, even like when Jim was going out there riding with Jim, when he was going out there, it's not like he saw FBI or anybody out there in the washes and whatnot searching. So nothing tells me that anybody is really on the law enforcement end are going out there and searching. That's what I think. Welcome back, Barney. Welcome back. So yeah, that's interesting. But I'm definitely going to check out this Army vet because I'd like to see more about. I'd like to actually watch that video. I hope it was last night because I'll definitely check it out. I think the family knows because of family involvement. It's very possible, Jim. Very, very possible. Look, I made no bones about it. I think that this is very close to the family. I think this is going to be something where it's going to be the family. Somebody who knows the family closely or somebody who knows the family very well. It's going to be somebody like that. Don't know who, but I have my suspicions as to who it could probably be, but that's just me, my opinion. I've never heard of Army Vet. I've heard of him a couple times. I've never watched him, but I've heard of his name on other people's stream. And I think it could have been 857. As a matter of fact, I think one of them was 857, and there was another one he was on that I actually heard his name, and I was like, "Oh, who's this guy?" But I never went to watch his thing. So definitely, I'm going to have to figure out who this guy is and what he brings to the table, without a doubt. Marianne says Army Vet is really good. Tusi Cat once again back to the family. All three. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say that it's not possible, but yeah. Thank you very much, Doug, for putting that on there. Thank you.
Absolutely. Go sub up Army Vet. He's got a bunch of videos.
I'm definitely going to do that. I want to see what he has to say. Was this thing that Chris was talking about, was that last night?
He did do a big one with, I think Patriot Pride was there, and Justine and Army Vet. And I think Chris was on the panel. I missed it, but I seen the thumbnail and they were talking about it today. And Pretty Little Clues and Army Vet just did a live together before I came on here.
Oh, okay.
They had Gigi and Rhythm on.
Okay.
Miss Patricia came on for a little bit.
Got you. Yeah, I'm on new to the game, so I don't know a lot of these people. You know what they. I can tell you, anybody who's in intelligence has a big upper hand right now because they would know exactly. Well, I shouldn't say they would know exactly because there's so many intelligence for so many different things. It's not like intelligence; it's just like a bland, covers everything. You know, you have intelligence for military, you have intelligence for ops, you have intelligence for so many different aspects in either the military or criminal or whatever. You know what I mean? So there's different entities of it. It's not just like one big blanket.
Right.
So
Army Vet's great.
yeah, I got to check him out.
He was on. He says he was on the detail that was part of 9/11. Like,
Okay.
he got sent out there in 9/11. His team. He was one of the boots on the ground.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yep.
Barney says, I do have my eyes open for a certain person that is causing issues in chats. I haven't seen them here yet. Sounds good, Barney. Thank you. Thank you very much. Growski, there are so many channels, and I am staying here. Thank you, Growski. I appreciate you, my friend. Always supporting the channel. Thank you. April, that's why I posted both links, Pretty Little Clues and Army Vet earlier. Sounds good, April. I'm going to definitely check him out and see what he has to say because, look, it's like I've said before, the more people we get, the more people we have, the more people we learn from one another. So that's not a slogan. That's just a fact. You have a lot of people, you hear everybody's opinion, and sometimes, they actually resonate when you hear something that you never heard before. So I would definitely, even like Chris, what was it, yesterday? I think it was yesterday or the day before, maybe even a couple of days ago. Chris said that when TRR came out, that he really was like sound and deliver, and then he heard Army Vet, and now he's like back to square one or back to the different thought. So I get it. And that's what it's all about. The more you hear different things and the more you have an open mind that you're able to switch back and forth, I think that's very important, without a doubt. Tusi, open, Barney, keep watch out. Love this channel. Thank you, Tusi. Oleg, are we learning or just talking on board rumors? Are we learning or just taking on board rumors? What do you mean? I'm not sure I follow. Are we learning or just taking on board rumors? I think we're all learning. You're always learning when you're listening to other opinions. You're always learning. You're always trying to gain something that you just didn't know. But that's the thing. If we don't have the people, more people to hear from, you're never hearing that other point of view. Oh, got you, Oleg. Sorry. Yeah, I wasn't there. I apologize. I wasn't there. Yeah, no doubt. You had to be there to know what I mean from last night. Got you. Yeah, I'm with you, Gronsky. I didn't see it at all. I didn't see it, but I will watch it. Definitely will watch it. So what about the ciders? Let's talk a little bit about the ciders. What's going on with the ciders? If you guys want to ask any questions on Nancy, by all means, feel free. As they say, just have at it. But let's talk a little bit about the ciders. So, do you know right now that the funds have been released for the family, right? I don't know if you all know that or not, but the funds have been released already, Review, brainstorming, thinking out loud, comparing notes. Well said, Barney. Well said. So they've already released the funds for the kids. I don't watch Nice Streams, Bedtime, Laughing Out. I'm with you. I am with you. So here, I'm going to start at the beginning. The dad, obviously, Junior, he was charged with exposing himself 4 times outside his home, where his kids live feral animals, is what they were saying. They have released the funds to care for 16 children. Now, get this. I want you guys to hear this. $150 to $200 is what it's going to cost per day per child. $150 to $250 a day to get these kids treated, fed, the whole 9 yards. That's what they're estimating. Jim, Dad's lawyer says Dad needs to be evaluated to see if he can stand trial. That is true. Very true. They released the funds, $150 to $250 a day. That comes out to approximately $1 million for the first year alone. So that $1 million that the state went ahead and released, it'll be gone in 1 year, without a doubt. You know, it really goes up to that point. Tucci says, poor children.
You're paying me that much per episode? That's sweet. Thank you.
Handem. If you didn't know Handem is the town. It is the poorest county, okay? Now, Handem is the town, but the county itself, Vinton County, is the poorest county in the state. They have 1,200 residents.
It's not a lot.
So when I went back, I said, no, that can't be the county. It's got to be the town. And I double-checked it, and it said, no, it said the county. 1,200 residents. Poorest county in the state of Ohio. That's why they couldn't keep the dad, because they would have gone bankrupt. They would have had to pay for all his medical bills, and there was no way they could go ahead and afford to do that. So they also talked about, even though the children were all born in the hospitals, they say there are little records on them, that they don't have much of any documentation on them. Literally. And
so they haven't been to a doctor? Nothing.
Nothing. They don't have hardly any documents of these kids, other than they have the documents where they were born, you know, like birth certificate, stuff like that. But as far as like doctor records and records that they got, like their TB shots and all that type of thing, nothing. Any shot, nothing.
Nope.
And the neighbors even stated to the officers that they were unaware that children were living in that house.
Yeah, that's what the guy said. And he said, I'm right next door. He's like, I can see their house through the trees and stuff. But he said, I've never seen a kid in there. Never seen a kid in the yard. I've never seen a kid.
Yeah, on the porch. That's just crazy.
So, you know, they didn't let them. I mean, obviously, they weren't able to go out. Anyways, I mean, shit, they could barely walk.
That is true. Very true. Ole, that's fine, but you brought it up. I was just curious.
What happened?
I have no idea. Oleg, it will take more than 1 year to treat the older children. This is abuse of the scale. Yeah, but you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. I think, hey, you know what? It's going to take more than a year, but it's not like they're going to say, well, this will probably be a 5-year program, so let's give out $5 million. That's just not how the state works. And the fact is, the state didn't have to really do that, but I think they were trying to cover their ass as well, you know, because somebody dropped the ball. They failed these kids
big time.
And that's why they're trying to go ahead and do this. So at least these kids are going to get some help for the first year. And I'm sure it's not going to end there. They just have to take, you know, small steps. They're not going to think on a 10-year plan here. You know, Marianne, April, I was going to say something too. Groundsky, $1 million to take care of kids for 1 year. Wow. Yeah. $150 to $250 per day for each child. Just crazy. I heard the last 8 children were delivered through midwives. Yeah, they just said that the children were born in hospitals, but they just didn't have any documentation as far as after that. I'm out. Have a good night. April, you're leaving. All right. Have a good vacation, April. Where did you hear that, Doug?
He's on vacation.
Let's see.
I honestly don't remember. It was on one of the streams that I was watching. Someone did say that. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but can you hear me, dog?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just trying.
Okay.
I was reading. I'm sorry. Say that
You're
again.
good. You're good. I'm not. I don't remember where I heard that from.
Okay.
Somebody said that the last 8 kids were delivered to midwife at home.
Oh, got you. Yeah, yeah. I
So
don't know,
all the
honestly.
twins, pretty much.
Right. Because there was 4 sets of twins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every kid was born in a hospital. Every single child.
Were they all born in a hospital?
Yeah. Yep.
Oleg, what are you talking about here? Not going to name names, April, not going to cause drama. If they want to run with what they said, it's their problem. What are you talking about, Oleg? Fill me in. Because I don't like seeing my mom just leave. Fill me in, please.
Midwives could deliver in hospital, though. It's instead of using an OB, they use a midwife.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. So maybe that's what they were trying to say.
Good night, April. Appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do, sweetheart. Appreciate you. Jim, all were born in the hospital. That's what Jim is saying. And that's what I read, but you never know, man. Sometimes it's lots of streamers throwing out what they believe. Well, it's just the idea that, look, when I tell you I believe something, it's just my opinion, and I'm referring to probably because I have seen something somewhere down the line, just like anybody else. So when I say that, it's only coming from the possibilities of process of elimination, taking in information and trying to process that. Okay, that's the only reason I say that. If that's what this is about. Good to debunk if untrue. Yes, debunk it all you want. But if I say it's my opinion, make no mistake, it is my damn opinion. That's a fact. The information about Puerto Rico connection I mentioned about 2 weeks ago that showed up for Nancy. The information about Puerto Rico connection. I remember you talking about there was a connection in Puerto Rico. I do remember that you were the one that brought that up. And that was, I think that was the one thing they were talking about in that live that Chris and those other individuals did, right? Is that what I'm hearing, Chris? Yep. Okay. So I remember that, Oleg. I remember you were the one that brought that up.
Yep. Haven't been able to.
Mrs. Barney, yes, sir. No. Yes, on Patriot Pride. Thank you, AJ. Yeah, I don't know how else, but yeah, that's usually what I do anyway. It is what it is. Now, let's see here. They said that the children, that it was hard for them to even communicate, that it was hard to them to get anything done because it was hard for them to communicate with those kids. Like they didn't have a lot of I don't want to say communication skills, but they just couldn't really talk very well.
They couldn't do anything very well, I would think.
There is no connection to Nancy at all. I know who it is. Nothing to do with Nancy. Thank you, Ole. Appreciate that. Wilson stated that the children were covered when they went in the house. They were covered. I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but they were covered in bugs. Bugs. You know, like bugs. They were covered in bugs.
I'm eating.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't get
They
That's
were
gross.
covered in bugs
Yeah,
and
well,
squatting
freaking house.
and had that distant look in their eye, like they were like not all there.
Who's
And
this?
how could you be there when you're going through this type of life?
Yep.
In my opinion, the Lois Gibson sketch should be considered as unofficial representation, says Doug. The children all had limited ability to communicate. Of course, you guys know all the defendants. They all pleaded not guilty. And the judge still has not changed her bond on the $300,000 for the other three, which is Elizabeth, Christina, and Gary Jr. So that's really the only update. They have started the process with these kids of getting them help. They have started. I believe it was the. Matter of fact, it's right here. It was the Job and Family Services from South Central Ohio that are taking over, and they're doing actually all their managing their care and hospital and all that kind of stuff. So that's really awesome to see that, because at least these kids, at least they're trying to do something for these people. You know, these kids, through no fault of their own, didn't have to and should have never gone through what they've gone through, without a doubt. Now, Elizabeth is still seeking her pretrial release. She wants still to be released so she can go back to her kids. I really don't, in my opinion, it's like I don't really think she really understands what really happened. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But I know there has to be consequences, but I really don't know if she really truly, because she had that look when she was in the jail cell, that look in her eyes like, what did I do wrong? Why am I here? You know, that dumbfounded look. And look, it's not like he didn't keep her pregnant every year, just about. You know, Gary Jr.
Let's see. It was 2008, 2009, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 19, 20, 22, 22, 24, 25, and now 26. Those are the years.
That's crazy.
So she had one.
And she's pregnant now, too.
Yes. Two.
She had 4
three,
twins.
2 died.
Yep. And she had 1 or 2 conjoined. They were conjoined.
Those are the ones that died. They lived for an hour. Okay. So she had 5 years that she didn't have a kid.
Is that your chair?
That is
It
crazy.
is. It is his chair. Is that the wife?
Yeah.
Tell her, yeah, oil it. Get it fixed. Come on. So can she hear me?
No.
Oh, thank God. God.
Oh, Lord. So I want to clear something, because there was a lot of talk in the past about, like, I had brought up a thing about them saying the reason why they went to the house was the warrant, you know, of the 4 times that he had indecent exposure. Okay. And I had said that there was another underlining, that they're not saying why they went there, and that there was an investigation that was going on possible child neglect and and also abuse. Okay. That they were working on a case, and there was a lot of people that said, no, it was actually, you know, the public indecency, that's why they were there. So authorities will not say what led to the arrest and the raid. However, public indecency charges were formally filed June 30th against Gary Sider, and was approved to serve that. But they're not telling you what else did they have as to their underlining reason on why they went there. So anytime I hear when authorities say we're not going to say what was everything involved and why we went there, well, there's a reason why they're saying that. There's a reason. And so, do I think it was that he did the indecent exposures 4 times? Well, yeah, that's what was mentioned at first. But I also had read that there was something else, and it was that they were doing an investigation against him and the family, the adults, because of the fact that there was some neglect of these kids, and also some domestic abuse, and I should say domestic, some type of abuse that was going on. So there was already an investigation being done, and I know that, like I said, I took a lot of heat because I was like, "No, dog, it's not that. It's this," and I know what this is, but I still say that there is another underlining thing, that the reason they really went there, that could have been the excuse, but I don't know if that was the actual reason why. Just wanted to throw that out for whatever it's worth. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. What you got, Doug? Anything?
I think it's possible that there might be other victims underage.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think that's the underlying issue.
That is very true. How about you, Chris? Anything? Except that you're hungry and eating? I know you hear me. Jim says the lady at work at Dollar General says they did bring like 4 kids in the store always before closing. Yeah, she did say that, and that they would buy them, some knickknacks here and there, or some, little whatever you want to call it, treats or whatever. But they would do that, but that these kids would never talk. That they would just point at what they wanted. They would point, and then the parents would get it. And that's how they went ahead, and that's how they rolled, So I'm not sure, but that would make sense to the fact that they're not able to really communicate. You know what I mean? And then they talked about how they had their hair covered in their eyes, covering their whole front face, half of their face towards their eyes were covered with their hair. There's a reason. And those should have been all red flags. I mean, all that should have been red flags. But well said, Jim. Well said. Tusi, the bear got Chris. I think so. No, never talk. Mother would say, "Go get it." Yeah, no, never talk. Mother would say, "Go get it." They would point, and that's what they would do. Poking Chris, wake up, laughing out loud.
I'm here.
Marianne, there goes Chris. Golly, Chris, even when you don't say nothing, you're like saying something. What the hell?
I'm here. Where are you?
Right in front of you.
Right. No, I can't get the camera to work for some reason.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, when I do that, it just shows that, but I can't get it to go. I don't know why. So I'm working on it behind the scenes.
Oh, Lord.
Isn't that exciting?
Good point, Oleg.
Let's see. I questioned the judge from the past signing on a 48-year-old can marry a 14-year-old child. Does that not ring alarm bells? Absolutely. Just because parents gave permission does not make it. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Well said, Oleg. Well said. No doubt about it. Barney, dog, see my above comment. Okay, poking Chris, wake up, laughing out loud. That's the only one I see. And then, don't quote me. I found something that said Junior had failed to appear for a prior court date. I don't recall where I saw that. You may be right. It could have been a failure to appear. It could have very well been a failure to appear, Barney. that's the thing that, like I said, I had read that there was an investigation being done already, like I said, on child neglect and some type of abuse. I don't know if it was domestic abuse, physical abuse, or whatnot. I can't remember what, but it was. I do remember the abuse part, and so like almost like they had their sights on this individual. They just waited a long time to execute, and maybe that's why they're not saying what really they were doing. You know what I mean? It's very possible. I don't know why it really matters, honestly. But sometimes, if things are questionable, because you got to remember, they went into the house. They tore the woods down, the boards down from the windows and climbed and basically climbed in and undid the door and the whole 9 yards. So I'm not sure. I know there's always some issues when serving a warrant, depending on the severity of the warrant, that whether you can just go in there or not. So there had to be something else that gave them that. Now they could say, well, we heard kids making noise. Well, I'm not sure how that justifies going in unless you hear crying or screaming or yelling or that type of thing. You know what I mean? You follow what I'm saying? I'm not sure if that's really because they have to be careful, because some of these warrants that they issue, some of them can only be served in the daytime because they're not necessarily a severe. It could be like a misdemeanor type of warrant. Serve it in the daytime, don't serve it at night. It'll all specify in that warrant. So maybe they're trying to cover their tracks and make sure that everything is done legit. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I could think of. All right. Jim, Nancy kidnappers got Chris. Chris, are you still with us? Well, he's on mute, and so is Doug. So
I'm here.
I'm
just letting you talk, Doug.
All right, buddy. All right, thank you. Jim, Barney, Oleg, where did you find the marriage info? AJ, the bear ate Chris. He's here.
I'm right here.
Susie.
I haven't gone anywhere.
Oleg, in the archives, Mrs. Barney, it's very common older men marrying children. That is true. Barney, Chris, can you drop off my library book while out on the e-bike, please?
Sorry, I sold it.
You do what? To see Barney, Oleg, I am asking for direct site. Oleg, I'm asking for a direct site, says Barney. Carol, laughing with AJ. Oleg, family search, ancestry. The records are there the records are there and my heritage. Oh, that's a big eyeball there, Chris.
There I am.
Trying to clean that little camera.
No,
Oleg, I sent DD a marriage certificate with proof. Thank you, Oleg.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I know you. She did send it to me, and I do have it. Matter of fact.
Well, you keep it. It's all yours, pal.
I am going to have it.
I'm getting dizzy now. Oh.
All right, guys. Anything else? What? The bike or the library book? He sold the bike.
Bike's gone, sir.
Barney, he sold it. He said he got 3 bits for it.
3 bits. There we go. I'm going back and forth now. See, watch now. I'll come. Nothing, I guess.
He said he couldn't give that library book for free to anybody. But the bike, he got 3 bits for it. Yes.
3.
Oh, Lord.
3 lowly bits. Oh, see,
I tell you what, that's why I like this channel, man, because we can just BS, have a good conversation.
We can just bullshit.
We can just bullshit. Yes, I am aware of the past marriages practices, but thank you. Barney, I'll try to go ahead and find that where that's happened. I do have it because Oleg did send it to me. I do remember seeing it. But I think it was because
Look at that.
I think Oleg, wasn't it that you were telling me, if I'm not mistaken, that this could be something more sinister because this is going around like in the family, like the family are all into that marrying somebody really young or something. I mean, really super, super young. I think that's what the whole thing was when Oleg sent me that. That was the topic of why. That this family had a history of doing that, which is not surprising, obviously.
Not surprising.
Not surprising at all. I like my chair. I like when I hear it make a little bit of noise.
It's annoying.
It keeps me awake.
Your wife says it's annoying.
I
Listen
know
to the
she
wife.
does. I know she does. I know.
Listen to the wife, but you'll have no milk and pancakes.
I get. Hey, I did have pancakes the other day.
Yeah, but you won't get them anymore.
With the milk.
You
With the milk.
You better fix that squeak.
Please make sure to use more than a couple of references. Man. Can you guys really hear that?
Yes.
Do you really?
He gets-
Yes, it's annoying.
That's
Damn it, man.
yeah.
I'll get the WD-40. Golly.
You better break out the WD-40.
No shit.
If not, you better buy a new chair.
I better just dump that whole son of a gun inside a big oil tank or something.
There you go.
Oleg, it's not right. I questioned the judge for his choice of giving permission. I agree with that, Oleg, wholeheartedly. Tusi, hi, Mrs. D. Tusi said hi, Tim.
I'm looking for some updates over here, but I ain't got nothing. It's Saturday. Slow.
Yeah, I agree. The Romeo and Juliet laws need some revisiting.
I totally agree, without a doubt. You know what? I did have it here. I could have just played it. The one where she says, Savannah says, no, I don't have that one. I have the other one. The, where they were talking to the public about their mom being gone. All right. Let me see.
Man upset over spilled water on his patio, charges at his upstairs neighbor and stabs him.
There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot of craziness.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff.
Barney says, my brother rocked all the time. Fast rocking, man. He was furious, dangerous. Yeah, bro. No, I'm not furious. I'm actually happy, man. But yeah, I just like to relax. It's nice to relax.
Mm-hmm. That it is. Wow. Yeah, there's not a lot. 8 people injured, including 6 children found dead after a house fire. Some with gunshot wounds.
So none of you guys think that I'm gonna bring something back on the Guthrie case. None of you guys think that this was a wrench attack, right?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I mean I don't.
Does anybody think that this was a wrench attack?
I think it could be a hybrid wrench attack.
Hybrid?
Hybrid, yeah, but I don't think the wrench was the actual device. I think it was similar to the process, but he had a gun.
Right. I mean, that's true. Just having a gun having a pew-pew could have
My pew-pew.
Yeah, just having one could have literally would be enough to scare somebody to try to get them to give them information, right?
Absolutely.
So, and then if they don't, a couple of hits on the noggin or something, that could wake somebody up real quick.
Yep.
So that's true. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Just think, if Nancy did know something confidential, do you think she would have given it over to save herself?
Probably not.
Not if it dealt with like
Kids,
just say
probably
her
not,
son,
right?
Or
Probably
not at all. She's been in a lot of pain. She lived to be 84 years old.
That's why.
As far as she's concerned, she lived a good life, and hey, Que sera, sera. So I could see that without a doubt.
So either she couldn't or she wouldn't give them what they wanted. Maybe that's why they then take her, but not know how severe her conditions were. And during the process of the week that they were going to have her till the deadlines, it goes awry and the plan foils and falls apart.
But my question is, what would she know?
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that info. What would she know?
What do you think she would know that was,
Well,
taught?
her husband, I don't think would have told her anything on what he was doing, for one. So she would have never really. She would have known what he did for work, but not like if it was anything that was, because he was working for the government. So anything that wasn't like
Her husband was?
Well, he was finding under places for that uranium and whatnot, where to dig and telling them where to go and the whole 9 yards.
Absolutely.
Is that what he did?
That's correct, right? Right.
I didn't know.
That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
They even found there's even uranium in the copper in Arizona. Like it's not the enriched type. That would have been the stuff in Mexico and Australia.
Right.
So I think they were trying to figure out just figuring out where he was staying would give you a general location of where they were mining.
Right.
Even if you don't have a direct GPS. Tell me which haystack to look in or else.
Yeah. Because he was giving them the information on where they would ask him and he would tell them where they needed to go ahead and dig.
Now, Savannah was born in Australia.
Australia, yep.
Yeah, that's what he said, yep.
Why?
Why? Because I think he was probably working over there at the time.
Okay.
He was building that defense program for the government.
There you go.
The building. And mining.
I think all these kids, wherever they lived, wherever they were at, wherever they moved to, it all was because of where the dad had to go to do his job.
Yep.
And he just wanted to make sure he had his family with him. So
makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
I just didn't know if he was from Australia or some shit. I didn't know.
No, I think it wasn't. They say he was from what they say he was from, Doug. The mom was from Kentucky. He was from.
I'm pretty sure he was born in New York, right?
I'm not really. That's a good one. I have to check that out. I'm not sure where he was born. I thought it was some. I know it was in the States. I'm not sure if it was down south.
I can look in a little bit.
Yeah, I want to say it was somewhere down south because he met his wife. I thought in Kentucky, going to college or something. That's how they met. Was in college.
He was born.
I have his obituary. You want me to read it? Have you ever read it?
No, go ahead.
Charles E. Guthrie, 49, passed away June 10th, 1988, while on a mining exploration project in Mexico. Beloved husband of Nancy Long Guthrie, father of Charles Cameron Guthrie, Annie Pierce Guthrie, and Savannah Clark Guthrie, all of Tucson. Brother of Ann Pritchard, Wayne Hanson of AKA, and Clyde W. Guthrie of Florida. Also survived by many other beloved family members. Funeral services will be held Tuesday, June 14th, 1988, 10 a.m. at the Dove of Peace Lutheran Church, 685, I won't even say the road, with Reverend Greg Adolph and Reverend Charles Stafford officiating. Interment to follow at Evergreen Cemetery. Memorial contributions can be made as follows. The Christian ministry tells out words, and then it just tells who else was involved in it. But that's in a
Does it say what city or town the funeral parlor is?
It was in Indianapolis.
That's probably where he was born, because usually when you're unalive, you pass away or whatever. A lot of the times you get buried in the town that you were either born in or where you've lived the most. So
the fellowship was in San Antonio, and the arrangements were at Tucson Mortuary. So there was a couple different events that were going on, it looks like.
Did they say where he was born at again?
It doesn't say in here. I thought it did, but it doesn't. It just says they were all of Tucson, so that's where they were living and resided at the time.
But he was buried in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Indiana, okay.
Yeah, so that's probably where he was from.
Well, that's not really that far. I mean, it's really not that far away from because you're going to go through Indiana, going down the bottom end. You're going to hit obviously Ohio, then you're going to come up to Kentucky, or you're going to come up to Kentucky. West Virginia is going to be a little bit up. Kentucky's going to be right there in the middle. So that's not that far. I mean, maybe they were going to college there or something. Maybe they were. Oleg says he was born in Harlan, Kentucky.
Harlan, Kentucky.
Harlan,
Yeah,
Kentucky.
He was born in Harlan.
So he was born in Harlan. Thank you, Oleg. So Charles was born in Harlan, Kentucky. I think they went to school together. That's what I read. I'm almost positive they went to school together.
College?
Yeah, and that's where they met. I'm almost positive. Welcome in, Buttercups. Good to have you.
Buttercups.
So that's exactly. And I want to say it was Kentucky University, if I'm not mistaken.
Thought I heard about that.
Yeah, I want to say that's where they went to college. That's where they met, and they didn't move to Tucson until like later. They bought their house. What was it was it? I want to say it was something like they lived there for 50 years. In like the 70s, I think they bought the house in Tucson where they live, where she was living there.
I think you're right, dog. I think it was 76.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was somewhere in there. Yeah, I thought I read that somewhere.
75, Oleg's saying.
Okay, so I mean, that's when they moved there, but they didn't, and that would make sense. They went where his work would be, those places out there. You know what I'm saying? That would make sense. There would be a lot more. Maybe he knew things about where certain things were at, and then again, maybe they told him, the government said, "Hey, you're gonna have to relocate over there." Very possible. Very possible. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Click that like, everybody. Do me that favor. Click the like.
He was born, like they said, in Harlan on Christmas Day in 1938.
Wow.
Now, look at this. Let's see. Before her name became part of the highly publicized national missing persons case, Nancy Guthrie once lived in Harlan County. An interesting detail in the alarming saga currently unfolding nationwide involves the mother of Savannah, one of the most famous faces in U.S. media. It's a detail, blah, 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 blah. Locals who remember Nancy Guthrie's family and their contributions to Harlan in early to mid 1900s have been reminiscing about such county landmarks as the Tucker Guthrie Airport and the old Elzo Guthrie Elementary School. This connection has Harlan.
That's what you were saying, Doug.
Yeah.
He's reading the article from Harlan Enterprise.
Got you.
I'm just looking through. Yeah, they got a shit ton of stuff named after them.
Mm-hmm.
And Nancy was, like you said, Fort Wright, Kentucky, in 1942. Oh, the article, the person that was talking in here about this is an anonymous family member.
Wonder why they made it anonymous.
Oh, it says in Fort Wright, Kentucky in 1940. The anonymous family member did confirm that she and her husband Charles had lived in Harlan County for a while, which makes sense given the fact that he was in the mining business. The Arizona newspaper states that Nancy Guthrie's wedding announcement appeared in the Cincinnati Enquirer, relaying that she graduated from the University of Kentucky, then married Charles, who was listed as a Georgia Tech graduate.
Okay.
From Pineville. Charles Guthrie was reportedly a mining engineer whose work led him to several countries, including Australia, where Savannah Guthrie was born in 1971. Oh, so we're the same age. The couple ended up settling in Arizona. Sally Guthrie said Nancy cherished her time living in Eastern Kentucky and often told her children she took them when they were adults to Harlan to get them to know their roots, is what she said.
Yep.
That's a lot of other crap going on while on 90. Charles, Nancy's husband, Savannah's father, died unexpectedly at age 49. Poor guy, young, from heart attack in the mining expedition in Mexico. No wonder. Sally Guthrie said that Elzo Guthrie, a man of much influence in Harlan County in the early 1900s, was her and Charles Guthrie's grandfather. Her father, Joe Guthrie, had been involved in the construction of Harlan County's Tucker Guthrie Memorial Airport, as well as the formation of Harlan Community Television. Jesus. They were into everything. So,
Yep.
so Savannah really didn't make them popular. I mean, she helped, but they were already big time before that.
In a different place they were. Yep.
They
Yeah.
owned a lot of real estate and a lot of different things.
The family also had connections to the old Yancey mine located near Pansy, that was established in 1920 during Harlan County's coal boom. The mine, which was the first known as Harlan Fuel Company, developed through coal entrepreneur efforts by Albert O. Guthrie. The mine gained tragic notoriety as one of the worst coal mining disasters in Harlan County history when on December 9th, 1932, a coal dust explosion at the company's Zero mine killed 23. Wow. Including 6 brothers from a single family. Elzo Guthrie had such an impact on Harlan County that a school was named after him when it opened in the early 1950s. Long since closed, the school served mountain students in grades K through 6 from the Catrins Creek area along KY 72. Nancy Guthrie, 84, reportedly disappeared in the middle of the night from her home. Evidence of the February 1st, home. Yeah, that's just about what she's doing now. Yeah, that's yeah, I didn't know all that. Like, so yeah, these people were famous to start. Savannah just helped them become more famous. That's crazy.
Yep.
That is crazy. Missing person. Family member confirms Guthrie has ties to the area. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was Sally. They then again say Sally said this and that, so
Yeah, it was Sally, and yeah, I mean,
which would have been Charles's brother, right? Or sister.
sister, I think.
I
Would
think
have
so.
to be. Yeah, it would
Have to be because her last name was.
Yeah, and this was, like you said, this was the Harlan Enterprise. I didn't even look to see where it was coming from. It's funny when you look.
That's the local paper there.
Oh yeah. It's funny when you start looking through all these, like, like here's an article, Sunday Guardian Live. Never heard of it, but they dive into who is Tommaso Cione. So this is where you learn all the craziness, like stuff you haven't heard yet, I don't know, like everybody, how much money do they have? Were they in debt? But I don't know. It says Tommaso Cione's net worth in 2026 is to be just under $1 million.
Yeah, but I think don't they take his house as also with that? I mean, we're not talking hard cold cash.
Probably not. I mean, I think
we're talking
include
about
the house.
Yeah, because I don't think he's really has a dime to piss on.
Yeah, and he also gets money from writing and academic engagements. I wonder how much Nancy was worth.
It's pretty interesting, Gronsky. Absolutely.
I don't think.
I think Nancy's net worth was $6 million.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, they only
it
wanted
was
4.
6 or 4. It was 4 million or 6 million.
Right.
Hello, Tarek. Welcome in, Tarek.
How you doing?
Yeah, no, that's
What's going on now?
I don't think they struggled for a whole lot until Charles ended up becoming unalive.
Yeah.
And then it got difficult.
Well, yeah, and then
She had to raise those 3. Yeah, she had to raise those 3. 3 adult. Well, I think Cameron was over 18, but the other 2 were under. So she still had to raise them all.
So what's Cameron's age now? He's
61.
61.
Yeah.
So he was born in what, 63?
I'm not sure when he was born. I just know he's 61. I just looked it up.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
That would be 61 would be 65. He's born in 65.
Oh yeah, 65. Yeah. So I mean, he's still young.
Yeah. No, he was. Yeah.
I mean, the only one close to his age is you.
Well, thank you, Grandpa.
I'm right behind you,
I
pal.
appreciate it.
Right behind you, my dude.
Oh my Lord!
It's just another tentacle of this crazy case.
Right?
Yeah, I'm sitting back thinking. I didn't know any of that about the schools and the,
yeah, I've been trying to tell everybody.
Well, I mean,
welcome in Fantasy 5. Good
It's
to
hard
have
to
you.
explain all of it, though. You literally got to dig into it for yourself and just see it.
Well, I know about is it South Carolina or North Carolina that they had the company there that they were linked to?
I think that was the North Carolina one, too, yeah.
North Carolina. So they had connections kind of everywhere.
It was mines all over the place, and I think the company still pays royalties to the trust. I think that's where the money comes from.
I'm sure they would have to. But it would be Nancy's
trust, yeah.
Yeah.
And her kids.
Yep. So I wonder if she got all the money and then just dispersed it, however.
How did the Tommaso become the power of attorney or whatever in the hell to Nancy?
So Nancy made it because I didn't, but somebody got the power of attorney paperwork, and it was Tommaso. Nancy made Tommaso power of attorney. Now, the only reason that I could come up with of why she made him the power of attorney is, maybe to keep the kids from fighting and arguing, like, oh, well, who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And, where son-in-law, get it, but he's going to be equal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we're not talking about him being involved at all, but he would be the equal guy to be like, all right, this is what she wanted me to do with this. This is what she wanted me to do with that. And off you go. But Nancy supposedly, and I better sit up before I fall asleep. Supposedly, she was to go and change that a little bit before she went missing.
Yes.
Which I think that came out like not too long after it happened, and then people ran with that idea of being like, oh, okay, that's why she went. But what he did too is he added on Annie, because once he had power of attorney, even though she was still alive, he was still the power of attorney. so he could change whatever he wanted to in there. He can't adjust money until unalived, but he
Right.
can add somebody. So what he did is he added Annie to have the same power as he does on it,
That's
on the
crazy.
power of attorney. And if I can find the paperwork, I'll find it and then we can show everybody. I forget who got it.
I thought that power of attorney was only for the properties of Annie and Tommaso.
What do you mean? Like it was a
It
power.
was, I thought it was Tommaso that gave up his rights to Annie over their real estate. That's the only
No, that
power of
was-
attorney I've seen. I haven't seen the one where he was made power of attorney over Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy gave it to him. Well, I'll see if I can dig it up. I forget who had it, but I can dig it up somewhere. I'm sure.
So
Seems
a
to be
dispute over
everything's out
assisted
there.
living could be a reason to want to change power of attorney if they were trying to do things that you didn't agree with. If she didn't want to go and they were saying, Mom, we think you need some help. You need some security cameras. You need to start locking your doors. And she was just like, no. And that's why she doesn't pay. That's why she was just being defiant because she wanted to keep her independent.
Well, you know what? And I get that she was 84 years old, and I guess I understand that she had a hard time getting around, and she was in pain all the time. But man, if my mother was still alive and I went over to her house and said, you know what, you need to do this, this, and this, I would have had a punch in the mouth, and then she would have thrown my ass out and say, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And don't come to my house and tell me what I'm doing. Right?
Yep.
I mean, I get that she was 84. Well, Ma, I just want you to be safe. I'm safe. Don't worry about it. You know, you can't tell people. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you know, and especially being, you know, elderly. I mean, dog, you understand the elderly thing. Kidding. You can't tell them. You know what I mean? If she doesn't want cameras, I don't want cameras. You know? No, it's my house. You know what I get? I understand. Like I would try and force my mother, but if she didn't want something, there was no telling her.
Right.
You know what I mean? I ain't getting a slap across the face. Not from my mother. Be like my grandmother, like right here. When she was, you know, in her late 70s, early 80s. You know how they lose everything? All you can see is bone and veins. Man, when she get right across the, oh my God, painful.
Tucci said, find the paperwork. He can't just change the paperwork. I had to go back to my attorney to change things.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find. I don't remember who had it, but I'll look for it. We can
Hello,
go through it.
Derek. Fantasies by AJ. Yeah, Tucci says, I can't believe that he had that power of attorney.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's very crazy.
Everything with this case is crazy. You know, and that's just the thing with, like, you know, people like, oh, just tell your mother. You want to come tell my mother? Come on.
That shit didn't work, no doubt.
No, I mean, and, you know, I mean, if my mother was still alive, I mean, where she lived had cameras anyway, so I wouldn't have to have that fight. But, you know, so it is what it is. I remember, Ma, what's for dinner? Whatever the hell I cook. Okay. We'll see.
Well, you know, the other thing, too, remember when they were talking about A&T had their property surveyed right before this went down, like a day or I want to say a day before.
What for?
Yep.
Saturday, right? That's crazy. Why would they have their property surveyed? Everybody would think. A lot of people. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Finish.
No, go ahead.
I said go ahead. God damn it.
Go ahead.
Don't make me call your wife. Please don't make me call them. When they first were mentioning that, I either thought it's either they're getting ready to try to sell their house and they were going to try to move into Nancy's. That's what I thought in the beginning. I think a lot of people had brought that up because then all of a sudden, you know, a couple days after she was missing, they started fixing things at the house, like adding cameras, doing, you know, they're getting all this stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why?
I know when I first heard it, I thought that they were going to put her somewhere and they didn't want anybody on the property. So they wanted to know exactly where their property line was at.
Mhm.
That's why they got it surveyed. You know?
Yeah, it's
I mean, it's just that doesn't happen by accident. Let's go
Right.
ahead and get our property surveyed, and the next day she goes missing. I don't
right. No.
I don't believe that.
And if again, Eric, same here. I would never stop looking for my mother. But here's the problem: they didn't even start.
Yeah, that is
You know what
true.
I'm saying? Like they didn't even start looking. So everything that you can. So they didn't look. They've only ever said, "Mommy, come home." They've never done anything.
Well, at least they still use the word mommy.
Yeah, but that's fake too. I don't like
I
nobody.
got a different
No,
angle.
no adults call their mother mommy. I'm sorry. They don't.
There's guys down in Mississippi in the South that call their dad daddy.
Yeah.
What's the difference of calling them daddy and calling their mom mama or mommy?
Sorry.
What
I'm
if
saying.
the
If I ever
survey?
called my mother mommy, she would punch me right in my mouth. What you talking? Go ahead, Doug.
I'll just say, what if the survey was to get the regulations for a casita or an in-law quarter, and they were actually planning on
Could be.
moving Nancy there, and that could
Hey.
also be what the loan
Could
was
be.
for, if there was a loan,
There could
and
be.
the APS card.
Yeah. Who knows?
Protected. Was it elder abuse, or was it actually the kids sending someone there to do an assessment of Nancy to see if she was good enough to live on her own still?
Well, what did Nano say at the beginning? She was sharp as a tack, so that wasn't going to fly.
It wasn't
You
going to
know,
fly, but they
you know?
probably tried.
Right. It's
How
very
does he
possible.
know? How
So
does he know
Nano's-
if she's sharp as a tack?
They were
Just by
friends. They were friends.
Nancy and him?
They were friends. He knew the family.
Yes.
They were friends. He knew Tommaso. They were friends. Him
Yeah,
and
I
Tommaso.
remember hearing that, but I don't remember anybody finding anything that said they were friends.
Well, that's
But-
probably why Savannah gave him all the leeway to make basically gave him all the support because
Yeah.
every time they asked Savannah, do you think that enough's being done? Well, they're investigating. Do you think that this is being done? Well, they're investigating. They're doing what they can
Yeah.
until that ending conversation where he said, I am no longer talking to Savannah,
Yeah, and I don't. I'm kind of with Eric on this one about them hiring a private detective. I don't think they ever did. I don't think that
No.
guy that was over there in the white car putting up the chain and the fence. He wasn't a detective.
Well, who was
He
the
was
one
at the,
that
what
who
would he be
brought
at the
up-
house for all the time? Go look somewhere else, dude.
who
I mean-
who else brought up the fact that she had, because I know we talked about it as well, and then it was bogus. She said it was she was going to get 500 private investigators, pay like $5-6 million or whatever for them to look for the mom or something to that effect, and then later it was debunked that she said nope, she never hired anybody. Remember that?
500 people. I mean,
Yeah,
Think
that
about
came
that.
from, I think, the India Examiner, I think it was
There you
called.
go. There you go.
Yeah, there's just so many stories, man. And I hate to say it, but I really don't think we're ever gonna know.
I don't either. I really don't. The more that it's going like this, I just don't think. Really don't think we're ever going to know. And if it's
Now-
high up, as you guys suspected it might be high up,
Could be.
we definitely ain't going to know.
No, because that'll be like Doug said earlier. That'll be signed, sealed, and delivered. You'll never see it, or whatever. You
And
said
they'll put a seal on it like they did the John
Okay.
F. K. and everybody else.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see those files, John F. Case,
Me
because
too.
they know.
Oh, they know exactly what happened, and I think
They know
everybody
exactly.
has an idea of what happened.
They know who ordered the hit. So
Yep.
no. I mean, but and here's another thing about JFK. He was assassinated right next to his wife in front of everybody. Understood. But that dude was crooked as shit. You
He
know,
wasn't an honest Joe, that's for damn sure.
no, but he doesn't deserve to die.
He wasn't a faithful Joe, should I say?
No, nobody wants. Nobody should die like that. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? But you know, you always say, "Oh, JFK this and JFK was one of the crookedest presidents we've ever seen."
Yeah.
Mm.
But whatever. But he doesn't deserve to be assassinated. And
No.
whether or not anybody, none of them deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure there's some that do. I'm just not going to name any, but I'm sure there's at least one.
Wow.
Maybe two.
What do you call those moments when you think you've already done the same thing? What is that called?
Deja vu.
Deja
Oh
vu, yeah.
man, I just had a big one. I was like, wait a minute, didn't I?
That case will do it to you. And then the Zapruder film come out.
What?
What?
The Zapruder film. Have you ever seen that? It's
I
like
didn't.
the film where it says that it wasn't actually what's his name that did that to JFK. It was the driver. It shows the driver turned around with a pew pew, and
Really?
yeah, it's supposedly the official video, not the video that we were shown way back when. It was tampered with, if you believe in the conspiracy theory. And it was actually J. Edgar Hoover that ordered it.
Who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a theory that's out there.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is that one movie.
JFK's its own rabbit hole, man.
Who was that? That actor that played in the Built In and They Will Come? Who was that actor? You know, the baseball, the White Sox or the Black Sox. What the hell was his name?
The Black Sox? Was there a baseball team named the Black Sox?
Well, they were called the Black Sox because they had threw the championship games.
Oh.
Remember? And they got banned. They got banned from baseball because it was the first time that somebody had ever done that. Shoeless Joe Jackson and the company. You don't remember that? You remember the guy that what was his name? The guy that played in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
The guy that played the dad
Yellowstone.
or
The dad.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Jesus.
Boy, oh boy.
Kevin Costner?
Thank you. Kevin Costner. All I know is that Kevin Costner, when he did that movie of the the assassination of or the unaliving of JFK. Remember he did that one movie where he was the bodyguard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a damn good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say all that for that. That was a damn good movie. Oh Lord.
I like The Bodyguard with
The Bodyguard was good too.
Whitney
But
Houston.
that one was a good movie.
Dances with Wolves.
Dancing was great. He
He's
did
a
a
great
lot of
actor,
good things.
He really is.
He's almost as good as Denzel Washington. Almost, not quite.
I don't know though. I don't know.
Denzel
Washington's done a bunch of shit. Good
that
stuff.
guy is like, Jesus God, he's like a Picasso as an actor. That guy, puts everything into every movie he does.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love I knew I was gonna have this. The movies that he did.
Thank you, Tarek. Tarek had it right. She said Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you meant Sam Elliott or Kevin Costner. I was trying to
didn't
think
get
of
it
both
at
of them.
all. I didn't even get it. Oh yeah, good job. I just got
No,
Awesome.
you got
somebody
it.
else said it. It's like, oh
You
my
got it.
god, yes.
Tarek
you
had
got
said it first. She had to put it on there. I just didn't see it.
What are you
Here, watch. I'm
Oh,
going to show you. I'm going to show you. Watch. See, there it is.
Yeah, that was at 7:36. Oh, all right, Tarek, you got the win, I guess. Horrible. What a boss. Unbelievable.
God, we got to treat everybody fairly here, guys.
No. Tarek, you win. I have to lose. You win, or I'll be punished. Jesus Christ. What are the movies that Denzel did?
He did the Pelican Brief. He did
the recent ones.
the recent ones. He did
Where he goes around and kills all the bad guys when he.
Equalizer.
Equalizer. Those are like. What did he do? 3 or 4?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. Those are my like favorite with him. He's badass in those.
Training Day.
Training Day is what I was thinking about.
Training Day was a great.
That's what got him his award.
Yeah, Training. I mean,
Training Day was awesome.
Yeah, that was prime Denzel.
Yeah.
But everything he does is good, except for the movies you don't hear about.
The only movie that I ever seen from him that I thought was one of his earliest movies that he did was Devil with the Blue Dress. I was not a fan of that.
No, I didn't even watch it.
I wasn't a fan of that, and that was the only movie. Everything else he's done has done a very good job. And if the movie sucked, it wasn't him that sucked. It was just the script that sucked.
He's just too good.
He's a phenomenal actor.
I think I heard through the grapevine. I won't cry. Well, I may later on. I think I heard through the grapevine that they're making another Lethal Weapon.
Really?
Danny Glover and him together again?
With Mel Gibson?
Yeah, Danny Glover's like 900 years old now.
Well, Mel Gibson ain't no young whippersnapper.
No, I think that's what I heard, that they were going to do another one. That's crazy. They'll be chasing people in automatic wheelchairs and shit. They'll be in locks and stuff. Come on.
And you'll see Joe Pesci in there.
Don't get me started. I love him, man.
What's that? Go
Joe
ahead.
Pesci?
Yeah.
I love Joe Pesci. So my favorite movies are mob movies. Anything.
Oh yeah.
As you can tell, there's a little bit of connection there. So,
right.
But yeah, those are
Those
Sopranos.
are
Sopranos was my favorite. What the hell is favorite TV show ever? I can watch the same episode 57,000 times a day. I don't care. But yeah, those are by far my. Even the old ones.
I love the old ones. The Godfather.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the third one, but the first and second one I thought were pretty damn good.
There was too goddamn many of them.
Oh, there was a lot of them, dude.
Yeah,
There was a lot of them.
It gets kind of.
Al Pacino played the one where with not Pet,
Casino.
Casino. Thank you.
Oh, Casino was a great.
That was a good one.
My favorite
Reservoir
movie.
Dogs?
Reservoir Dogs was good, but my favorite.
Reservoir Dogs was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite mob movie was Goodfellas. I think that
Goodfellas was awesome. Loved it.
Straight. And the only reason that I love The Sopranos so much is because that is the most accurate display of how the mob works and what they do and what they run and how they handle things. It's straight.
Dude, there was a time where I watched just about every special on the mob.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm talking from every crime, whether it was the Bananas family, whether it was the whatever family. I mean, there was like five families, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6, and there was a time when I would, like, when we would travel, I would listen to on my podcast everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I just loved it. That's growing up as a kid, and there was reason behind that too. So I understand what you're talking about, but there was reasons behind that. But I just loved it.
Hell yeah, man!
You don't have a lot of people that you just don't. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
What about Departed? Did you know that's based on Whitey?
Yeah.
Departed?
Not a lot of people know that though.
It's out of Boston. They filmed it in Boston.
Really?
And Jack Nicholas is actually Whitey in that movie. That's who he's actually portraying.
Oh yeah. Did they get him in Florida?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where they arrested him in Florida?
After 36 decades.
Yeah, no, he was.
Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to bring it up again. It's just a cool movie.
No, that's fine. I don't care.
No,
that's what did I say?
You're good, man.
Oh no, I was saying our Boston tour day is coming up soon, so I'm gonna probably try to do it. Let's see what probably not this week.
Hey, Tarek says Danny Glover was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
I know, right? He'll be
You were
like,
talking about wheelchair.
I know. Where am I going? Where are we going? No, where are we going, Mel Gibson? What am I supposed to do? I know that,
They're
but
putting their teeth in.
yeah,
Oh my
he'll be in
Lord.
the tub in the beginning of the movie again. They'll be putting his dentures in. And shit. That was those were.
Instead of Joe Pesci going, guys, come on, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Instead he's like, guys.
Yeah. As they're falling out.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, but even like Die Hard, all the Die Hards. I mean, come on, man.
There's a lot of
Classic
classics,
films.
man. There was a
Listen,
lot of classics.
I mean, I know there's great films now. Well, I'm not sure. Well, yeah, there's great films now. But I'm telling you, man, we were spoiled. Like in the 90s to the, mid 2000s, man, we were spoiled with movies, man. Those guys
Great
were still
movie.
going strong, though. Like, I mean, they're all slowed down now. They have
Well,
to.
Robert De Niro and Al Pacino were like the cream of the crop back in the day, man. In that 70s to 80s,
Yeah,
that was the dude. They did it all,
everything.
man.
Everything. I mean, I don't know of one bad movie that Al Pacino did.
Yeah,
I'm not sure there was one. I mean,
yeah.
really,
Everything he did was like to me, like Denzel Washington, just a masterpiece.
yeah,
Everything.
and like, and if anybody has followed anything to do with the mob, at least you've watched or listened to something. And if you haven't, and go find some. There's some great documentaries, but man, Goodfellas, spot on, man. Back in the day, like that, spot on. That's exactly how it happened. And then you run into the Sopranos, and you can't.
And everybody has a Saul. Hey, Saul. Everybody has a Saul in
There's
the
always,
family.
yeah, yep. Want to hear something funny?
Tell me.
That was my uncle's name,
Was it really?
Saul. Yeah,
Everybody has a Saul in there. No
yeah.
doubt
There's a
about
Saul. There's a Vinny.
Vinny is
Vinny
another one.
Gumbats. There's everything.
What they call that one?
Probably a Tony.
Yeah, there's
they
always
called him,
Tony. Like Italian kids, Tony, daughter, Michelle. I mean, that's huge.
What do you call that one? I was listening to this podcast. It was real about real mobs, and they call this one dude something like it was really weird, but it stuck. They gave him the name of something pipe, like because he used a pipe to beat everybody. So they gave him the nickname. Can't I think of the first? It's stovepipe or something like that. But it was an Italian. I'm trying to figure out what movie what podcast that was, because I listened to a lot of podcasts. Matter of fact, there's a guy still out there that was a part of the. Oh God, what was that family? I thought it started with an R. But he's got his own YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that ever got that was ever like he was the last one standing. Literally. Now I know that I know what you're thinking, but that guy was one of the last guys that literally, I'm trying to think of his name. I have him on my podcast.
Gambino?
I think he might have been in the Gambino family.
The Gambino family. I can tell you this. Every one of Whitey Bulger's known accomplices, I have met.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I know. I mean, it's not like hey, how you doing, man? You know, it's, you know, but I
That's crazy.
have met them all, most of them. So,
Yeah.
even the FBI guy, John Connolly.
Right,
John
right.
Connolly.
Oh, yep. And then
Yep.
Stephen Fleming and Kevin Weeks, you know, just in, you know, just kind of in passing, you know. Like I said, remember, my
What
uncle's
family
name
was he a part of?
was Sal
What was he a part of?
Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
Winter Hill Gang.
Yeah, the Winter Hill Gang.
The feds used the Winter Hill Gang to help take down the Italian mob.
Yeah.
Listen, Whitey Bulger was an informant forever.
For everybody, but he was the last one standing in the end. Believe it.
Yeah, because he was protected. Why do you think nothing ever happened to him?
Exactly.
He was protected. But then,
Even when he was unalivened.
but remember, when they arrested him, why did they arrest him? Because he wasn't needed anymore. So that ends your deal with the feds. That's it. It's over. All right, now you're going to jail. See you. And that's it. No, they'll never find Jimmy Hoffa.
That's awesome, Chris. That you've met all them guys. That's crazy.
Dominic
I don't know how
Sicali is
awesome
what I
it
was
is,
talking
but
about,
yeah, no,
Chris.
it was cool.
Well, I mean,
yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. It was, you know, just like I said, just remember my uncle's name was Saul.
not everybody can say that.
No, I don't really usually like to say it, but you know, it's part of life.
It is.
So it was you know, it was different. The only person that I never met was what the hell was her name? What was his girlfriend's name? Catherine. I never met her. But you know,
did you know they? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you know they were also responsible for taking out Albert DeSalvo when he was in prison?
They're responsible for a lot of stuff that nobody ever knows.
No one ever talks about or knows.
No.
Yeah.
Because it was all with you know the connections. So, anyways, but yeah, no, like back in 2000, 90, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, you yourself could have met any of those guys because they were always in the North End. They always
Chris,
had a place.
This is the guy I was talking about.
Where? Okay.
This guy, see this guy right here? Not the guy on the left, but the guy on the right as you're looking at it.
Joey?
Yeah. No, not Joey. The one that go up one.
Who is he? Dominic?
Yes.
Sicali?
Yes.
Is that what it says?
Yes.
Okay.
This guy here.
Yep.
Let me see here. Hang on a second. I want to see something real quick.
Now, if there's any readers in the chat that like to
What
read,
does John Houston think about everyday
Hang
people just trying to get
you
by?
They're just
need
not
to
very
read the Brothers
experienced in
Bulger.
navigating the real world.
You haven't?
Really? Houston
Have
voted
you read
to cut
that?
Medicaid
No.
to pay for tax cuts for
Doug?
billionaires. Tell
Doug?
John
No.
Houston to stop raising our health care
You can
costs.
read it, man. It'll blow your mind.
Ask privately with Duck.ai. Visit Duck.ai.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another live edition of Dom Sicali Mafia Roundtable. Hope everybody's
That's
having
not
a
him. That's
great
not the guy I'm talking about.
Friday.
It's this
What
other
did they
guy.
say?
Hang on.
In Car Wash. Thank
Michael
God
Franzese.
it's Friday, folks. Yes, sir. And I am whooped like that.
What does John Houston think about everyday
gonna be
people
this
just
one,
trying
Chris.
to get by?
They're just not very experienced at navigating the real world.
Really? Houston voted to cut Medicaid to pay for tax cuts for billionaires. Tell John Houston to stop raising our health care costs.
Michael Franzese.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Larry Lawton here for another great edition of our interviews. I got Michael Franzese, who is an amazing guy. Michael and I came from the same neighborhood, and we grew up
Do you
in the
remember
same
this guy?
kind of lifestyle. He was obviously a lot bigger than I was. I was a grunt who was making a lot of money for a lot of people, but I was pretty crazy, and they called him, and he'll know what that is, a cowboy. And I want to welcome you to the show, Michael.
Well, thanks, Larry. And I got to say this before you start. Every other comment on my YouTube channel is When are you going to sit down with Larry Lawton? That's it.
Can you
I hear
tell
it all the
he's
time,
Italian?
and I want to congratulate you. You've been doing
Yeah.
a
Tell
great
he's
job
Italian?
following you. And I'm going to disagree with you. You made a lot of money for a lot of people. That's not a grunt. That's an important guy. So you did well back then.
I did. You know, they liked me. I even had sit downs because of disrespecting someone, but I got backed up because I was making a lot of money for a lot of people as the biggest jewel robber in the country. And obviously the setup and all that. But this is not about me. It's going to be about you, Michael, because I want to get into your life a little bit. My fans, exactly. Are you going to interview Michael? Are you going to interview? Yes, I said. And I reached out to your camp and they said, yes. Michael can do something and we'll do something set up. And we set it up pretty good and pretty quickly. You know, you guys have been great too. I want to say that as well. All right, a couple of questions. Growing up in Brooklyn, Michael, you had the Grillo name.
Yeah.
It really, and I talk about this in one of my partners.
To know that
early
he's still
up in
running
Brooklyn
out
was Joey Grillo. I don't know
alive.
if you knew Joey Grillo.
It's
Joey
crazy.
was doing the drugs. I was doing
Not
the
often
robberies.
you
We
do.
were out of West 10th over there with the Gambinos and Dominic and Willie. You probably know them all over in the home stretch. The Weeper and Dominic and, Gatto, who owned the bus company, Atlantic Geeks. But you know all the crew. And, Joey was a really close friend. He ended up dying at like 45, a heart attack. But when I went to prison, it was tough. Him and I grew up in that business together. And he was the drugs, which we all know there were out there. I love that. Oh, they don't do drugs. Come on. We all were partying, doing everything it was. But did you know him or did you know his family maybe? Does it ring a bell?
No, I didn't. I had the name at the time, but I really didn't know any of them. It's a crazy story with me, Larry. I don't know if you want to get into it or not, but
Yeah, absolutely.
crazy story. My father, Sonny Francis, meets my mother when she's 16 years old. She's a hat check girl over at the Store Club. My dad is married at the time to another woman, Ann Schiller, had 3 children, has an affair with my mother. She gets pregnant, allegedly, with me. Okay. My dad can't get divorced. At that time, you weren't allowed to get divorced, in our life. Mm-hmm. And so my grandparents on my mother's side were so enraged that my mother was pregnant. First, they wanted her to abort me. She said no. So they kind of forced her to marry this guy, Louis Grillo. And that's where the name came from. And then I never met him. I've never seen him. I mean, I heard of him. I knew of him, but I never met him. And then, my father does get the divorce. He marries my mother, legally adopts me when I was a kid. And that's the only thing I ever heard of Grillo. And my father, Sonny, if that was ever mentioned, he got enraged. He never wanted to hear it, never mentioned it. So really, Sonny's the only father that I know. So Larry, people said, Mike, why don't you get a DNA test? Why don't you find out the truth? It really doesn't matter to me. I mean, Sonny's the only dad I knew, and what's it going to prove, And anyway, the Louis Grillo, he died, I think, in 74, 75. So I never had a chance really to even meet him. If that was my fault, I don't know.
Do you ever, did you think you were adopted for a long time? I mean, up until later in life or earlier?
My father would never say that. We never had a conversation about it. As far as he was concerned, I was, his son. My mother never said a word. But interestingly enough, she told this story to the co-author of my first book. And she said, everybody thinks that there was something else. Let me tell you the truth. It was never revealed before. And it's the last chapter in my book. When I found out about it, I said, Mom, why did you never tell me? She said, it's not important. That's your father and that's it. She brushed it off. So I know it sounds crazy, but, that's the story. And I've never said this before, publicly, but you asked and you brought it up and, I thought it was appropriate to say it.
Well, no, obviously, I mean, I read about you, Mike. I read some of that. And what I didn't know about you not thinking you were adopted, obviously, for X amount of time. At what time did you realize you weren't adopted or you don't know to this day?
No, I really don't know. I mean, it was, I can't say it was never really important to me. I mean, Sonny was the only father that I knew. I didn't want to deal with it. There was stuff going on in the house, so as far as I was concerned, he was dad and that was it. And I don't know if I just shut it out, Larry, or what. I mean, and he was a great father. Great father. I mean, he supported me, loved me. So, why did I have to investigate anything else? That's how I looked at it.
That's good. 2 questions in there jump right out, Michael. 2, did you ever think of ancestry, DNA?
It's funny.
I mean, someone's going to ask me that. That's why I had to ask.
You know what? My kids want me to do it. And I said no. And they're saying, Dad, why don't you do it? And I said, I don't want to do it. What's it going to prove at this point in time? How is it going to change my life? But it's funny for the.
Anyways, that was the guy I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him or recognize him?
I recognize his face, but I didn't.
I think it was the Gambino family where he was.
Oh yeah,
was literally the last guy that. Well, other than he's still free.
Yeah. Well, he's good now.
Huh?
He's good now.
Yeah, but you never see that happen where someone ends up just walking away.
No.
Now, granted, everybody was incarcerated at the time.
That's why.
But and then he kind of got ghost. He got out and dodged. But last I heard, he was in California, living in California.
Yeah, you don't just walk away.
You don't. No, absolutely not.
Not at all. It does not happen at all.
No. Once you're in, and there's only one way to get out.
You're there for life.
You're there for life. There's only one way to get out, and that's unalive.
Blood in, blood out.
Yeah, pretty much. Pam, thank you for the 10 joules. Appreciate you. But yeah,
you know what's funny? People don't realize, like, if you've never been involved in it, like, we have an Italian section of where I live, just like every other places. They have sections of certain, and it's called Nonantum. That's it, and it's short. There's another short name. Oh, sure. Eat right in front of us all. You better made enough for all of us. But when I was young,
you're still young.
Yeah. So that's where I grew up, right? So, so you learn things, and then you start doing things, and so there was this one guy who ran the entire area, and when you grew up like that, you worked for that person,
right?
And what was that now? Wait a minute, I'm coming. So, but you're kind of like pushed into it. So you gotta kind of do it.
Right.
So, but the thing is the guy that was in charge of the area, the city had nothing. They couldn't do anything there. It had to go through him first. And I'm like, as a younger, I'm like, how the hell does that work? You know what I mean? And but then once you start getting into it, then you start to understand why. And when you start doing things for those guys, your life completely changes. Like, you don't have to worry about nothing.
Yep.
And at the age of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I had more money than I knew what to do with. So it's good. Now I don't have any, and I'm starving. It could be but once you're kind of hooked, the way you live is it can be nice. You know what I mean? But luckily, it wasn't enough to where I would need to worry about anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, was there things that we did that weren't, they weren't the nicest things, but
I know.
We were in collections. We were in the collections department. You know what I'm saying? Is that peanut butter and jelly?
Fish sandwich.
Oh. Yeah. So, it is though. And when you have an issue, it's solved really quick. And some of the things are, they're hectic and everything, but it was
You look like WB.
just being that young. You don't even think about what could go wrong. And
no, you never think.
because you don't have that problem, right? And so we were in collections and pickup. So and I'm not I would never tell you guys anything that was way out of, but you would go somewhere and you go in and be like, hey, yeah, how you doing, guys? And they knew who you were, and you would get a envelope and you knew what it was, because that's how it was still. And this is in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't stop. And we said this before, the mob is still there.
Oh yeah,
they're still racking money like you guys would never believe. They're still running places. They're still doing it all. As you guys can see, what just happened in New York a month and a half ago. They busted all the sports people betting on the games and stuff. That's the mob. The mob runs that. That's who puts it together. How do you think they get all these bigwig people? And the only reason they get those big name people is to get everybody else to come into the games.
Yep.
So, and you guys saw the bust. That was a big bust. That's huge. That ripple effect. Bing, bing, bing through all. And let me say, what's different now is that the families are more of the work together than to work against, because they're going to make a lot more money. So those games can be held by, different groups, but it's all one to them, but yeah, if anybody thinks they're gone, they're not. It's just not like it was back in the 80s and 90s. It's all, quiet and stuff. And no, there's nothing new there. It's just a lot of people think it's gone away. You know what I mean? Oh, that's not big. It's just quiet.
They just got more sophisticated, more smarter, and they became more legit.
Yep.
Because everything started transitioning.
Yeah.
I mean, before when this was all at the beginning, it was more of a muscle thing, right?
Yeah.
Fear out of muscle.
That was the
main thing. Now they finally have started to use
common sense, like you say.
Absolutely. And they started to go ahead and they started to integrate in the mainstream. You know what I mean? They started integrating in the mainstream.
They had to.
Because of everything else.
Choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
they still doing it.
Yeah, and back in the 80s and the 90s, when they were all still running rampant, all you had to do is you knew who was and who wasn't, like you said, because there was they dressed a certain way, they looked at, they still had running suits, they still wore those plasticky running suits, Adidas running suits, but now you couldn't tell anymore.
No,
you can't tell, unless it's the head of the family, maybe, or whoever the boss is now. Yeah, but you can't even tell anymore.
Right.
They're just dressed like everybody else, and but it was a crazy life to live. It is. It's a, if you're high up, it's a dangerous life to live. Somebody's looking to take over.
Somebody else always looking to take out the next guy to take over that position. Yeah. That's what Gotti did.
Yeah, that's why when I look at Goodfellas and those times before me, before my years, but it got to the end, it was towards a little bit more, but that's spot on. And for somebody to direct that movie the way they directed it and how they set up everything, they had somebody showing them and telling them, hey, you got to do it like this. You know what I'm saying? You got to. And then The Sopranos, There was never one bad episode of the
No, I loved it. I watched them all too. I
I
didn't
watch
care
it
for
all
the
the time.
ending. I didn't care for the ending.
What do you
but
think happened? What do you think?
My
Think
thing is that he was taken out.
You think he was?
I think so. I don't know what they were applying, but I mean they left it open ended so that
Yes, they did. I hated it.
I did not like that. I hate when they do that.
Yep.
And I think he was taken out. I think at the end of the day, because you know what? At some point, everybody has their day, and everybody is marked without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what they were, in my opinion, that's what they were implying was every dog has his day.
Oh yeah.
And that
Yeah, I
was
know. I
his.
hated the ending. Like
I did not like it. I did not like it.
I was like, come on now, you know.
Do something.
One of my favorite episodes is when he made that deal with the guy, the rich guy on the island, and Tony got the Stugats out there and played the music like 48 hours straight.
Right.
That was, oh man, that was so funny.
I go ahead.
When I went to New Jersey for work, we had like a half a day to just kind of kill time. And we got to go around and see, you know, the club where they were at, where they had their club at, you know, the strip joint there, because it's there. And then a lot of the places that they filmed at, we got to go and see. It was pretty cool. It was neat.
But that was awesome.
Yeah. I would have liked to have met Tony.
It's a whole different ballgame. Even if you're not directly involved,
no,
you're involved.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes.
So you may not know you're involved, but you're involved.
Yeah. And that's what it was for me.
Yeah.
I was never involved with the
right.
You know, all right, we got to take this dude out or whatever.
Right.
I was a grunt. But along with that comes all of it. Like the protection, you know, the money, hey, we need you to do this. We need you to do it today. Okay. Whatever. How much were you, you know, but yeah, no, never enough to be like, uh-oh. Unless, of course, you did something wrong to do.
True.
Yeah, then you're probably.
But even indirectly, you are, for a better lack of words, even without realizing it, you are expendable.
Yes.
And you just don't know it.
No. I mean, if you come up $1 short, it's like the world just ended. Like,
yeah,
that's their money. You know what I mean? It's like, but what was nice is when you gave that envelope, when you got yours. Oh, it was nice.
No, I mean, like I said, I
and that's what gets you as a teenager.
There was a outfit out here, pretty big outfit out here in Fort Wayne, and that was quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I was made aware of certain things. But I just always found it intriguing because that was the connection that I understood.
Mm-hmm.
Not with anything other than knowing somebody, but that's what I'm saying. You may not be indirectly involved in anything, but you still are a target if there needs to be a point made.
Right.
And that's the shitty part. That's the shitty part. So
yeah. No, like my uncle, this is kind of where it all came from. My uncle was pretty deep. And he worked for a big family, well known. But when he passed away of cancer, but I never knew what he did. Right, he just had a job.
Right,
he went to work every day, and whenever you like, so what is it that you do? It would kind of be like, hey, go get me a drink or something. You know, it would change the subject immediately.
Right.
So me and my mother lived with my grandmother, and my uncle, he lived there too. My grandmother was divorced, and so he would always take care of my grandmother. And I was like, listen, I don't even know what he does, blah 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 blah. And you didn't ask either,
Right, right.
you know. So then when he passed away, I'm like, what the hell is Nana gonna do now? But every week, on it was like Thursday or Friday, or whatever, every single week there would be a yellow envelope dropped off to my grandmother. So they took care of her until he passed away. And then those envelopes stopped. And I was like, well, I could use it. But yeah, it was it took, I knew like 2-3 years before he passed what he did. It finally came out one day, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
don't tell anybody, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, oh damn. And like, he worked very close with the upper guy,
Right.
but he wasn't the pew pew guy.
Right.
So, yeah, but I towards the end, like a little while before he passed, I would always ask him because he was done by then because he was sick. He had cancer, so he was done. You don't, like you say, you don't get out.
Right.
But when you're sick and you have that, you're retired.
As long as
right?
you're not talking, hey, you just
Right.
you'll let you wither away.
Yeah. And I would ask him and stuff, and he would just be like, let me tell you, he's always like, it's not a good life to live. You don't want to live that life. Nobody wants to do that. Blah, 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 blah. It's too dangerous. But he told me some stories, and it's just some crazy stuff, man. Like what they used to do and how they did it and how they could get this. And like when you see on the movies, they go and they grab an 18-wheeler, throw the guy out, take the truck.
That was
how it was.
Yes.
It wasn't like crazy because I
that
remember
was one of the big things that were going on in Fort Wayne. That was the modus operandi.
Yep.
Back in the day over there, and that was exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and I never knew what these things were, and I always used to find them. So my uncle had a Lincoln Continental, 78, 79, old style, beautiful,
right,
fully loaded, And so one day he's like, hey, go down in the trunk. I left a box in there for Nana or something, whatever. So I ran down, and there was these little plastic things. And they had numbers on them. And it looked like somebody had broken them. I didn't know what it was until way towards the ends. It was the tags that are on the back of the 18-wheeler doors. If you remove them, they won't accept the load.
And that's correct.
There was hundreds of them. Green, blue, red, yellow. I was like, what the hell are these? And then I learned in the end, and I was like, holy crap. So yeah. And it was very strange because when he passed, my grandmother's like 24 hours later, she's like, so the wake and the funeral, it's all set up. There's a big get together at the at the 440, the post 440 afterwards. There's gonna be food everywhere, and it's like, okay, cool. I'm like, where the hell did you get the money to do this? Oh, don't you worry about that. Obviously, they took care of it.
Right.
But I will tell you, one of the coolest, strangest feeling I've ever had in my life. And my uncle, my family back then, they knew a lot of people. And when we had the wake, so it was like my grandmother, my mother, and the aunts, and blah 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 blah. My other uncle, they were in line. How you do it, right? I was a teenager, so I was just kind of, I don't know, over talking to somebody, whatever, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, right, it goes like dead silent, and it's like the fucking seas parted, And in comes the group. And you turn around and you look and you knew exactly who it was coming to pay their respects. I mean, it was like, it was like God just showed up, and it's just like, and it's just this weird feeling that you get. And granted, I've met them. I know who they were. So I was just like, wow, that's cool. And like, it's just, it's cool.
It's always cool when you're a kid, man.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's
always kid.
not. I mean,
well,
now
when you get older and you realize,
I know what they did.
You're right.
It's like, oof. But yeah, and then the after party, after the funeral, the after party, man, they came up to my grandmother, and you know how they do it at weddings? They do the same thing. If you envelope after envelope after envelope after envelope, it was the most incredible thing. It was, yeah.
Well, I always said it was good until it wasn't good. Right?
Yes.
It was nice until it wasn't nice. It was nice until you realize, like, oh God, really? Like the real thing sits in, and then you're like, Jesus, God of mercy, Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you didn't think about it, but if here we are, we do what he wanted us to do, or they wanted us to do, whatever. Like you said, you don't get out, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, you better be careful with the envelope you have, because if that envelope goes missing, you're going missing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But you don't think about that when you're a kid.
No, because everything is. I mean, you feel like you're on the cloud. You're on the cloud.
Yeah.
You're on the cloud, and then at some point, when you become a little bit more educated,
you're in the storm clouds.
Then you understand, oh God, like, do I even want to be in the cloud?
You know what else? You know what else did it for you too, though? Is like, so you walk in. So if you were in part of if you had anything to do with the Italian section, you went there for everything. Donuts, the sub shops, the delis, the butcher. You went there for everything. And, when you walk in and you're like, yeah, let me get 2 pounds of steak tips, because we always used to go to the butcher, right? And you'd be like, okay, thank you. What do I owe you? Oh, nothing. You're all set. And it was like that everywhere you went. And that's what was good, right?
Yeah.
That's what was good. But then you're like, oh, man, really?
At some point,
but it's like,
someone's going to call you on it.
Yeah. So, when it came to be junior year in high school and stuff like that, certain people at the high school would question me about something. Not anybody, like, other kids, like teachers, like, what the hell? Because, when you're in high school and you're 17 years old and, you're standing around with your friends and, let's go to lunch, and your friend's like, oh, man, I ain't got but $5. And I'm like, whoop, and, like, holy F, just roll. It was, wow. You were like God, right? But when people started questioning, I was like, yeah, I don't like that. Like, that's odd, because they're hearing stuff, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, it's time. So yeah, it's time to be done now. See you later. Have a good day. And it's just like, and that was easy because I wasn't anybody. So I was just like, hey, I'm like, hey, it's time to move on. A little bit of the Italian stuff, and they were like, yeah, all right, whatever. See you, kid.
See you, kid.
But like you said, you're always connected, right? I mean, the guy that was there, I mean, he's long gone now, but here I am when you're working with him and you're in anywhere he is, because we used to have a parade every year, Memorial Day parade every year, and he ran the parade. He had a 85, 86 Cadillac, drove like a boat. 15 years old, and he said, "Come on, you're driving me in the." I'm about what? What about the? Don't worry about him, because there was no worry that what I mean.
Right.
But here I am driving a Cadillac, like, oh, this is great. Where you want to go? But yeah, no. Then it ended, and it's like, then I'm one of those people who'll take out my money. I got $5. Like, damn. But yeah, no, it was something else. It was an experience.
No, I get you, man.
I couldn't do that like they did. No way. Because you gotta look over your shoulder every day. It could be another family, or it could be your family. And a lot of it was your family. Because, hey, we saw you talking to so and so the other day. Oh, that's it. Nice knowing you, bye.
Yeah. No, you're
like,
exactly right. You're 100% right. I mean, it's that idea that even an honest mistake is going to cost you.
Yeah.
There's no forgiveness there.
No.
And that's the whole. That's why yeah. I
Yeah. I mean, the only time that you're not touched is if you're up. If you're a capo, captain, whatever you want to call it, above, you don't get touched because you can't. The only person that can make that call is the head person. Like, hey, take them, see you, bye, have a go. But as long as you're made, you're good.
As long as you're a capo, you're good. You're right.
Because you're the money maker.
Yeah, absolutely. And
then there's everybody below that has to go get that.
Well, and then I mean, when they make you, there's a lot of things that go into that. It's not just a simple,
it's a ceremony.
This is like a very, I mean, don't get me wrong. There, obviously, we know people that have infiltrated. I mean,
God, yeah.
Movies about it. I mean,
yeah. That's why you got to be really careful because they'll flip you. Look, I mean, they flip a ton of people, and then they get you wired. And these days, nah, they just.
Well, I think everybody who goes in that understands that the life expectancy is not very long.
No, you're dead.
You're living for the moment, for that day, for that moment.
That's why guys like you just showed, and Kevin Weeks and stuff like that, they are here because either for some odd reason they got out because everybody else is gone, right? And that's it.
Well, that guy that I showed you, he got out because everybody in that
gone.
Were gone sent. And at that moment, Anyway, he left, and he thought he was done until it was one of those. I mean, you can't hide. I mean, you can, but you can't really hide.
They're finding you.
They're going to find you, and then it became one of those where he just said, whatever happens, happens. And I mean, he never talked. Well, I shouldn't say he never talked, but everybody was already rounded up. When they rounded everybody up, there was nobody left.
See,
and
I'm going to show you this picture real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I just threw it in the thing. This is another reason that Whitey got away with everything for his whole life. This guy right here. That's his brother.
That's his brother?
Yeah, and he is a bigwig in politics.
Can you make it a little bigger or no? Okay, there you go.
So he ran interference. So when you read, if you ever read the book, The Brothers Bulger is this it's an amazing book. And it's the true story from kids to missing and, retired and not doing anything. And how, Whitey helped him get elected because he just threatened everybody, but then when there was stuff that needed to be handled, well, here it was right here. He was the man to handle it. But this guy, Whitey Bulger, if nobody's ever read about him, I mean, everybody knows about him. But this dude, smart, beyond smart. This guy was a genius. And he was a bad man, though. I mean, bad man. Like, some of the stuff that you read about in the book is just absolutely incredible of what he was able to pull off, how he did it. But he was also smart.
You don't
FBI.
You don't go as long as he did without being smart.
And he's brilliant, but he had the FBI. He was in their pocket.
He was doing some things even when he was with the FBI.
Oh God, yeah, they let him.
So it was like,
I'm giving you this, I'm giving you that.
I'm giving you the pass to do X, Y, and Z.
Go for it.
And you're right. It's only till they don't want you or they need you anymore.
Yep.
That now you're on your own.
Yep. Did you ever see the TV show? I think it was on Netflix or whatever. The Blacklist.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it happens. He's an informant. He turned himself in. He became the informant, and now he has the FBI agent that's on the inside, which is actually on the outside with him.
Right.
And he goes about his everyday business, and he pew-pews people while they're watching because they know what he's given them, right? I know it's a TV show, but that's a great show to show you. I mean, these days, I don't think it goes like that these days, but
right, because everything has changed.
Right.
Yeah.
So back in the day, that's how it was, man. Whatever. If you're giving me if you're giving us a terrorist, you're giving us the biggest drug dealer in the world, yeah, go kill it. I don't care. These days, obviously it's different, but yeah, it's definitely a life. And, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I got stories and stories of stuff.
We'll get together one day.
Yeah, I mean, they can be told on here. It's not, it's nothing. I would never say anything that I didn't need to say. But yeah, no, there's just some crazy stories of just how things work. Look at this guy right in the South End. He goes into the liquor store. He has nothing to do with the liquor store, right? The owner is in the liquor store. He goes, kicks the shit out of him, says, "This is my store until I tell you." Throws the guy out, and he has the liquor store for however long. Like,
you could do that back in the day because everything was about power.
And they said nothing. He would say nothing. Okay, let me know when you're done. And he had the liquor store for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, whatever. And then, hey, here you go. Like, okay, and again, when we go on when I take you guys on the tour and the live in Boston, we'll point out some stuff. I mean, there's a lot of cool things here in Boston and stuff. And, if it's a nice clear day, I don't know if you'll be able to. No, because we're not going to be in Revere. If we ever go to Revere, maybe on the next one, I could show you guys one of the big mansions on the water where the Angelos lived. And that was a pretty cool place too. But even like on Revere Beach, there's a restaurant called Kelly's Roast Beef. It's famous here, right? And so if you're looking at standing in front of Kelly's Roast Beef and you look to the right, there's a few big, huge apartment buildings. And then a little ways down, there's a row of houses. They're all brick because that's where the Italians were. They love brick. And those used to be all mob houses. Somebody lived in, each and every one of those houses. So it's all over. I mean, It's really cool, though. I
Well,
can't
you
wait
know,
to go
the-
to Boston for you guys.
I think the thing that changed everything, obviously, time. Then how they put everything together, as far as when Rudy did the RICO, that really that was like, for all sake and purpose, that was like the end of the end.
Yep.
You're seeing it now. That's why people are being more sophisticated. I should say people, certain individuals, being more sophisticated about it, because you have to play within the realm of society. Because the things that you were muscle and power were everything in the past. Now it's all about sophistication. How can you outsmart everyone else who's, for a better lack of words, coming at you? How do you outsmart that?
Yeah.
And with today's technology and today's, social media and everything like that, they ain't nowhere to hide, man. Ain't nowhere to hide.
No, and these days too, it's like, I mean, you remember back in the 80s and the early 90s, they could tap, they could send you undercover and they give you a mic, but it's taped to your stomach or your back. I mean, that's common. Like, they're like, open your shirt. Nowadays, you can put a pinhole in your shirt and put a camera in there. It's like, 360, turn around. They can hide everything so good now.
And you're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah. And they don't do the pat downs like they used to.
No.
You don't get in now.
Right.
If you're not married into it and your kids are not being promoted up through that, or a guy that works for you has kids that want to get involved, then but you're not an outsider coming in. There's none of that. You know what I mean? Years ago, it was a little different because you needed the people. We need about 20 guys. Go find somebody. Give them a few thousand. Here you go. Come on, you're working for us. Oh, okay, thanks. But it's way different now, man. But I can say, if I could relive from 60s, 70s, and 80s, I would definitely be in the mall. Definitely. Oh, definitely. It was so different back then, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was so different.
Totally different.
Oh God, I'd be so like I
I'd
want to shoot up.
It's that old saying, if we knew now what we didn't know then, it'd be a whole different ballgame.
Yep. And if I could go back long time ago, cowboys and Indians days, that would be me too. Horses and God, all of it. But no, those are the two things that I would.
That's interesting, brother. That's interesting.
I would love to do that. Yeah, no, I mean,
I really do. I appreciate you sharing that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we got more people than we're listening here too.
Oh, good.
Alley Cat's in the house says, my hubs and I went to a crime scene, and the guy that unallied himself had hid a huge trash can in the wall, drywall it back. Unalive girl in the can, plexiglass in it with liquid to watch her decompose.
That's gross.
Interesting.
So he could watch her decompose. That's gross.
That's crazy. What was that in Tennessee, Allie? Cap gun, says Barney. Allie, waiting to see if she says if that was. And Doug said the congressman. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. Absolutely. Let's see this one. No, this one. This one. No. This one.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. That was a pretty cool story. I'm glad Chris shared it with us.
Absolutely.
Just sitting back and listening.
No, that's cool. Doug says, I hate my keyboard. Chris, you fading in and out, says Barney. Danny Casarello. Casarola.
Costalero.
Casalero. There you go.
Yeah, it's a whole nother rabbit hole.
I can only imagine. I don't
But
put
it's
anything
interesting.
past you, Doug.
It's
Nothing.
interesting.
In about 5 words, who is he?
They were part of the Promise program. Danny Castellero was a reporter that was trying to expose what was going on. And they were using Michael Riconosciuto. He was the genius that created the program. And, that was the day that surveillance on people started. Domestic and abroad. And there was a bunch of people taken out that were trying to expose it. It's called the Octopus Murders.
Interesting.
Yeah. It eventually leads to a casino. That's where it ends, like the end of the story. And then the National Reserves and how they were filtering money. And it's a wild story. If no one's ever heard, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, that's one to blow your mind.
Sounds crazy, bro. Alley Cat, it was wild. Bruce Davis, hey, double dogging everyone. Good to have you, Bruce. Yes,
What's up,
Tennessee. Good deal. Hey, Chris. Bruce Davis said hi. Josiah's in the house. Good to have you, Josiah. Good evening, Devil Dog and Chris. Hey, Jay said, I'm just here for the food, Dee. Oh,
very
Lord.
good discussion today.
Oh yeah. This is what's nice about it, man. Is you got a great chat floor. You got great people, and you can have a conversation. And once you're done, you can veer off to something else, and everybody just kind of like listens in and just shoot the shit, and that's good. That's damn good. Because you're not stuck. You're not sticking hearing everything that's so negative in what we do when we're looking in these cases. You're not. It's not all. Sometimes you just got to pull back a little. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I'll be honest. I didn't know if I was going to even do a live at 5 today. I wasn't sure, man. I wasn't feeling it, and then I thought, yeah, I'll go ahead and do one. So I did. But I'm just saying. This is kind of like, yeah, this is what I enjoy. This is what I like, and I know that the people come here to our lives, they want to hear something, they want to just be able to kind of kick back and relax and bullshit, and then there's no backbiting, there's no all this, drama and all this shit. It's just you and your panel and the people, the double pups in the house, and that's what it's all about as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it was
really
cool.
do enjoy it.
Coffee talk today was cool.
Yes, absolutely. Dee, your lives are always interesting. Thank you, Tarek. It's because we got interesting people. We got Doug and Chris always stopping by, popping in. And just because you guys make this awesome, Terry. All you guys make this awesome. So that's how we grow, man. That's how we grow, and that's how we literally just learn what we're all about. But that's why I love the channel. I love the channel because you can just kick back, and it's not like you have 1,000,001 people going through through your chat, so fast that you can't even see anything, can't even talk to, can't even say hi to anybody, can't say, hey, welcome in, because it's just too many people. Here you have that luxury, and that's pretty cool, I think. Alicat, love this chat group. Always respectful, smart, and interesting. Thank you, Alicat. Barney, who's biting people? Marianne, hey, Bruce. Hi, Marianne, Tarek, AJ. Oh, Lord. The bear finally ate Chris. Yeah, I think he needed to relax. It was a long day. I'm just hanging out, eating my ice cream, says Marnie. Great show, guys. You got it, Chris. Hey, I have to go for a bit. Sorry, I have to take a call. Thank you all, and hi to all. You got it, Chris. Thank you for being here, my friend. All right. Click that like, everybody. Click that like. Thank you all for your support. Thank you once again, Groundsky, for the membership. Thank you so much for always supporting the channel. And everybody who helps the channel grow, thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. Mods, thank you so much as well. You guys are amazing. And like I always said, Chris, or not Chris, Doug, you and Chris, especially because you're always like on the live, you're always welcome in here, man. You're like a part of that team now, that part of that group. And I know that when you bring your information, you bring it, and that's awesome. We may not always, see it the same way, but hey, that's how I learned, and that's how you learn, and that's how everybody learns from one another. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
That's what's
good
awesome
debate
about it.
wouldn't be that good if we both agreed on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Then it's like, what's the point? I agree with you. Josiah, any major updates with the Guthrie or Nolan? Well, Josiah, the only thing right now is as far as Nolan, we're going to cover that Monday. We're going to cover that Monday on a 3-panel live, and but for the most part, to be honest, I think this is going to come down to, in my opinion, it's going to come down to a unaliving by drowning with the underlining of alcohol.
Yep.
Played a role. That's what I see happening. Do I think that there is something there? There could be something there, but we won't know until it goes to the grand jury, because they're not going to release the autopsy or the toxicology report. They're not going to release it till after the grand jury gets to see that information, and they're going to tell you right there and then whether they think there's enough evidence to go ahead and go further. So that's what they've already said. The DA has said we're not giving anything until the grand jury sees it. So that's where that's at. That's really for the most part. There's a couple little things here and there, but for the most part, we'll cover that on Monday. And as far as Guthrie, man, there's really nothing there with Guthrie yet. I mean, it's still the same. Just kind of rehashing the who, what, when, where, why. We talked a little bit today about the son, the oldest son, the only son, the oldest sibling, and kind of like, what was his story, what was his take, what was, and a lot of interesting opinions that were going on in here. So it was good. It was good. But as far as, do I think it's ever going to get solved? I'm not so sure, to be honest, especially after seeing, doing the live and hearing everybody's perspectives. Yeah, I could see where this is becomes very stagnant and doesn't really go anywhere. I hope it does, but I don't know. And if you didn't catch it from the beginning, you can always go back and watch the stream, and then you'll know what was talked about, what happened, what we talked about. But yeah. Just a great conversation today. Everybody was just awesome. Fantasy 5 says your streaming chat is calming as well as informative and thought-provoking. Lots of fun too. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Fantasy 5.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That's we try to everybody brings their information, and I can tell you that Doug, He's got some great information. always comes prepared. Chris, same thing. And myself, we just do what we can and provide what we can and try to let everybody make their own assessment as to where we're at. So I'm very happy. The channel is growing. It is growing very well. Yeah, we're getting there, and it won't be long. We'll be, we'll be there. I'm not worried about that at all because it is growing pretty good. You got to remember, we've only been doing this since I looked it up again since April, May. It wasn't even April. I said April last time. It wasn't April. It was May, June, July. About 2.5 months, somewhere in there. Maybe almost 3 months. Well, yeah, I would say more closer to 3 months now. And the leaps and bounds we have made has been unbelievable, without a doubt, unbelievable. So, Groundsky, Carlsbad native, Joanna Ruth Shields, 37, unallied of probable alcohol withdrawal seizures and chronic alcohol use disorder. I do this. Groundsky, we covered that this morning, and yeah, that's what they came up with. I don't. It's not that I don't agree with it. It's just that there's a lot of left questions that weren't answered, and that's the problem that I have with this report. They didn't talk about a lot of the things like why she had a cut on her head. Yeah, if it's on the forehead, on the top of her head, or wherever that gash she had, it's kind of hard to. I mean, if she's in the water going through convulsions, as they say, maybe she hits her head on a rock. It's possible, depending on where exactly that gash on her head is. But the idea that, that there's no explanation for why she was unclothed, why she only had her sports bra on. I mean, I made some analogies and some suggestions of what I thought. And I think I think if anything, I'm probably right on the money, because they found her sandals, they found her clothing items, and her sandals and her clothing items, they found it all together. So that tells me that when I said she was probably wringing things off, wringing it out, cleaning herself up and wringing it out, and then she was just chucking it and putting it like in a pile, I had said that from the beginning, and I think that's probably why they found that group of clothes together with the sandals. It makes perfect sense to me. Now, I didn't know about the sports bra until they came out with that she did have a sports bra, but that's all she had on, and she was facing the water. But there was some things that they didn't answer, like was there anything in her system? It seemed like they went to the past. They talked to the family and they tried to figure out that she did suffer from depression at times, but she had apparently an alcohol issue, which I've never ever read one place where anybody has ever said that. But they said they talked to the family and they got their information, the investigators. And so that's kind of where that led from, which I can see that. I can see that. But the idea is that there was just a lot of questions that I had. Why didn't they answer when they could have answered? And they didn't. They didn't even talk about certain things. The number one suspect, or the number one person of interest who was there, who last saw her, they never talked about him, his name. They just said he was cooperative, and that was the end of that. So I wasn't really happy, Groundsky, with what they were saying. But then again, there may be more rhymes to reason on why they said what they said. I just think there's a lot still missing, in my opinion. There's still a lot missing, and you will just have to see if they put anything else out. But yeah, very, very, very good. Mark the Sharks drone footage. You can see two garments laying on the bench of the towel and an Afghan. I would love to know who was staying in the casita. That's a good point, Allie. Very good point. Barney Dog, are we streaming tomorrow? Probably so. 9 o'clock. Yeah, let's say we're going to stream at 9. We'll stream at 9, Barney. Yes, everybody, we're going to stream at 9 tomorrow morning. Ellie, the bench in front of the casita, by the way. Yes. Yeah, I would love to know who was staying there as well. Oleg, I remember that, Ellie Cat. Yeah, I remember they talking about it as well. Fanny's 5, your streaming chat is coming. You know, you guys, like I said, you guys do amazing. And I appreciate every one of you. You guys do awesome. And just like I said, keep supporting the channel, keep trying to help it grow, you know, in whatever way, especially by the word of mouth. That's how we get out there and sharing the stream to other people. That's how we also get even grow a lot more faster, but we are growing, make no mistake. So, you know, everything's going good, guys. Everything is going good. You know, everybody is doing their what they need to do to make the channel grow. And then we probably have more cohesion now than we've ever had, you know, where everybody can have different views and opinions and no one is creating drama. You know what I mean? For the most part, we're really good. We do a good job. Barney, okay, dog. So we'll be on tomorrow at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. If you can be here, please be here. Once again, Doug, I'm going to go ahead. If you want to say your last few things, I'm going to go ahead and end this live.
Yeah, like always, thanks for having me on, Doug. Great conversation today, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.
You got it, my friend. Thank you so much for being here, Doug. Appreciate you as
Yes,
always.
sir.
All right. So
Semper
everybody,
Fi.
Semper Fi, my brother. Semper Fi.
Semper
God
Fi.
bless you.
Later, pups.
So that's where we're at. We're going to go ahead and end the live. Definitely be here tomorrow if you can. We'll definitely have a discussion on something that's going on. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. And always remember, it's all common sense, everybody. It's all common sense. And you guys all have common sense. That's why the channel is growing, and you guys are awesome. You got it, Bruce. Thank you, bro. Devil Dog, you got it. God bless you all. Great show, DD. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate all you mods. God bless you all. And we'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Semper Fi, everybody. Class dismissed, says Barney. We'll see you all back.